course y'all can't hear me. Of course. You know what? I tried to come in here, start things off right, be a little professional, if you will. And look what happened, y'all. Okay. We got sound. See, you know what? Let me play this off. It's not that my sound was muted. It's just the fact that that was my little plot to get all y'all to comment in the chat. Thank you for commenting in the chat. See, y'all don't want to be liking. Y'all don't want to be commenting. So I had to trick y'all, and it worked. Okay, so there we go. Instead of just admitting, I just Porsha Williams you. Instead of admitting that I was muted the whole time, right? Instead of admitting that I came on with my mic muted, I said, no, this was all my master plan. Y'all just got Porsha Williams. Okay, so let's start all over again, right? Let's start all over again. Thank you, Sharon, for the super chat. Woo, mama, we started it off right. Thank you so much, Sharon, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, it was a scheme set up by Todd. You know what it is, right? Listen, it was a scheme set up by... I just got sent a post. Okay, listen, I just Porsha Williams, y'all, right? Now, granted, it would have been easier for me to just come clean and been like, my fault, running late, forgot to take my mic off and mute. But no. Being honest is for suckers. Let me act like this was just a master plan, checkmate, as they like to say, right? Checkmate, So anyway, listen, let's start it off right? Hey, Brent, what's going on? Hey, Colinaire. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Red Lily. Okay, let's go on. So for all of you guys that have been living under a rock, or you just got into my live and you want to know what all the foolishness is about, right? The Jasmine brand, All True Tea. And also, if you are in these YouTube streets and in the gossip streets, you would know that Porsha made a post. This is reported from the Jasmine brand, reposted by All True Tea, saying Porsha Williams calls out ex-Dennis Mckinley, says she filmed an awful and disgusting scene with him. I don't know if they'll air it. Now, listen. Actually, let me read what she said, and then we'll get into it, because then we'll get into what my sources are telling me they were already talking about, and what her issue is, right? So this is all for Porsha's Instagram, right? Public. Her page is public. Hey, thank you, Lily, for the super chat. Thank you. Hey, B, what's going on, girl? Oh, you know what? Hold on. Before I go any further, let me make this mess a members only chat. Hold on. We got to do it, because last time y'all were acting a G. Thank you, Sharon, for the super chat, by the way. Last time y'all were acting a GD fool in my super chat. I know y'all were making those little fake Instagram accounts and fake YouTube Abby's trying to spam me, but now I'm just making this members only, okay? There you go. All right, let's do this, right? Let's do this. And welcome all new members. Hey, Veronica. Okay, so listen. Porsha said, hey, loves. Now you all know by now, I don't address too much of what's happening on the show, because I'd rather you just enjoy what's meant for entertainment. Now, I find it funny, but now this is all entertainment, when her and her fiance, Simon Obadia, right? Hey, Liberia, what's going on? Her and her fiance, Simon Obadia, literally were saying from the beginning, just watch the show. Our relationship is laid out. We're honest, right? It'll all be there and all make sense in the end. Remember when they were cacking like the witches of Eastwick with Drew? Laughing about how Porsha was like allegedly busting it wide and spreading it low. I know I just said that wrong. And Fallon, the farmer Fallon Gabadia's laundry room, right? And they said, just watch the show. It's all going to make sense. Y'all, that was all bullshit. Listen, that was all bullshit. Now it's just entertainment value, okay? So, let's get back to this. But because the future low-life accusations made by Dennis on me on the show, I want to make it known that yes, my daughter was in Mexico with me, as she is the majority of time when I travel as a single mom. Now, we're going to get into that, because this is one of the things that was actually addressed, right? But as you can imagine, after the first dinner, I saw just how crazy it was going to be and chose to keep her off camera while I was there working on the show. However, we stayed an extra week in Mexico, and as a family, we, my fiance and I, blended and enjoyed the rest of our vacation. I am a damn good mother, and I always have my baby girl close no matter what. She is my world and my purpose, and for anyone to raise a question against that, shame on you and whoever raised you. She will not take her foot off of Miss Gina's neck. I guess I am the Porsha to her Miss Gina, if you will, right? Let's see. Okay, I'm done. Good night. In more ways than one. Please, guys, keep talking. We will. Keep tweeting. I'm on it. The show is doing well. No, it's not. And I'm glad you're all entertained. I am entertained. I'll give her that much. Okay, right? She said, Porsha families matter. I don't play about PJ, open book, real life, the pursuit of Porsha, my mini me. Okay. So then Tamika Mowry came in and literally, right? Oh, let's give a shout out to new member Monique King and WR. Thank you so much, for joining my members only live. I got something special for my actual members this Friday, but thank you so much. And let's see who did a super chat. We're about to get into Porsha's next thing. Hey, Zanel. I hope I'm pronouncing it. Sanel. Kinlaw. Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you for loving the tea. Okay, so listen, right? Okay, so then Tamika Mowry, Porsha been in her comments all week, commenting. She's trying to do a PR blitz. We're gonna get into what was actually discussed in the scene, but she's trying to do a PR blitz, right? Now, as you guys can see, it's a balmy 78 degrees in my house, but I want it to be 80. So I just turned the air conditioning off and now I'm going to heat. For anybody trying to dox me and zoom in on that, there you go. That's my heating and air conditioning. Okay. So anyway, is my heat on? Okay. So Porsha was going in and out of comments, going crazy. Now, for any of you guys that are actually gossip aficionados or you watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta, you would know that this actually smelled something very, very familiar. What was so familiar about it? Well, I'll tell you. The thing that was so familiar about it is this is the exact same playbook that Porsha used to, if you will, in my opinion, dox Kenya for the Black Lives Matter stuff. Now, how did she do that? Literally, there was that thing that it was rumored that on the set, when it came up with the Black Lives Matter thing, Porsha was jealous of Kandi. Porsha then acted a fool at Kandi's party, and she said some things that had her come across as very like not giving a damn, in her opinion, not giving a damn about the cause and only worried about how she came across on TV. Hence, the term actorvis was applied to her. So what did she do, right? She did everything she could to wage a public PR campaign against Kenya. So there would be a public outcry. And she was like, I don't know if Bravo's going to air this. She then went on live, if you guys don't remember, back in summer, and admitted, right, that nobody has the power to get scenes pulled. However, since she's been there for so long, good for her, she now has the power that she simply went in front of executives and explained why it would be a bad look for Bravo. And if they pulled it, they pulled it. To which everybody said, you just admitted that you went to your bosses and tried to get the scene pulled, right? And she used a groundswell of public outrage. Because at that time, and I guess still too, Porsha and the Real Housewives of produced. Listen, I'm going somewhere with this backstory. If y'all already know this, just sip the tea. This is for the people that don't know, right? If you guys don't know this, Porsha was rumored to always have a very good edit on Real Housewives of Atlanta because the producers and her producers, she was very, very cozy with. Some would say like they were friends, like they were friendly, but they weren't friends. If you get what I'm saying, right? But the whole point of the matter is they always gave her a really good edit. With the power of the producers giving her a really good edit and with the power of public sentiments, I don't know why people just hate Porsha so much. I mean not Porsha, Kenya so much. But with the power of all that and getting like a groundswell of enrage on the internet against Kenya for going against Black Lives Matter, she was able to put a little bird in, put a little, like, what is it, a fly in the bonnet, a bee in Bravo's bonnet, I don't know. She was able to whisper in their ear like the snake in the Garden Eden. That's the analogy I'm looking for. She was able to whisper in the ear, and she was able to get them to admit that scene. Now, here's the thing you guys need to pay attention to, because I'm going somewhere with this, right? The thing is, when they admitted that scene, they weren't prepared for the backlash they got, because even though they admitted the scene where Porsha was acting a fool, and that caused Kenya to come to the conclusion that Porsha was just doing this for a storyline and she wasn't really that committed. They cut out that scene. Porsha said she's questioning my activism. She went on this tear. I'm about to finish these texts, but it's the same tear that she's going on now with Dennis. But Bravo got a lot of blowback for that, because people were like, listen, even if Porsha said that and you don't want to air what Kenya said and all this stuff, why would you just show that little piece? Because what you did was still make a mockery of what happened. You took out the context, but you put enough so that everybody would attack Kenya. So in that point, even though you guys said you weren't trying to use BLM as a storyline, you used it as a storyline to draw public hate, right? And turn public opinion against Kenya. And you thought it was going to be like Bolo Gate, and you thought it was going to be like everybody else. But people in the streets were like, yo, this is actually, like, people have passed away for this. Like, this is no joke. This is the future of our country. Wrong time, wrong time. Bravo didn't leave the room. The reason that's important is because Bravo, I don't want to say they learned a lesson, because Bravo is NBC Universal. They're like titans. They've been doing this stuff a long time. It's going to take more than a few mean YouTube comments to really get in their head. But they were surprised at the level of shock they got from actually including just Kenya's part of the argument, right? Now, some people argued, oh, they were just trying to protect Porsha. It wasn't so much that they were trying to protect her. It's the fact that she was, at that point, activism. Nobody at a high level was actually from our community. So you know how it is, right? If you have a friend and they come up to you and they're just like I've had it happen with my Asian friends, right? They come up to me and they're like, yo, Tisa, you know that's offensive, right? I'm not going to question them. I'm not going to go over the thing. I'm just going to be like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know. You need people from the community to educate you on like where their boundaries are. Porsha's part of the community. She's doing all the stuff with BLM. She got Tamika Mallory. We'll get to her in a second. So they said, oh, okay. And they went on to an easier target, which is Kenya. If you saw, they got her for the Black Lives Matter thing. They got her for the Native American dressing, right? Even though somebody on below deck just said a slur and they didn't say two words to them, right? And they pulled the scene. Now, keep that in mind as we move into, keep that in mind as let me move my charger over. Keep that in mind as we move into what's happening now with, I'm trying to move my charger to the other side of my MacBook. Keep that in mind as we move into what's happening now with Porsha's family matters and Dennis. All right, so I've set the scene. If you guys are here, welcome to the nonlinear thought process. We are basically, Mel NYC Reviews always said housewives historians. That's his specialty. We are doing housewife historians, pulling in stuff so you understand what's going on. If you came for the 30-second shade room clip, no shade to the shade room, because y'all did feature me. Yay. You have to go back on the shade room because we like to get deep in this stuff. All right. So anyway, you need to know that background to understand what's happening now. Now that you know that background, let's get into what's going on, right? So you just saw Porsha post this mess, right? Then she started going crazy in the comments. The reason why she started going crazy in the comments is because Porsha is a creature of habit. Her playbook worked the first time with Kenya. So she said, well, God damn it, let me do it again. She was trying to whip the public into a frenzy, right? To focus on Dennis and Mckinley. Now, this was a little bit different because one, you didn't have the producers on your side. If you guys saw, I think the producer is Choke, no joke. I got to play you guys something about him because this was the person that was defending Porsha. Y'all, we need to do a whole Instagram live about him. Anyway, we're going to get into that because he spoke on Porsha and the R. Kelly situation, and it was a mess, right? All I could think was like, Simon, come get your girl, wife, fiance, whatever she is this month. Before, come get her. Meanwhile, Simon's probably like, I'm in to see how this season goes. And Simon probably is like sitting there. She's talking to him like, babe, what you think of this tunic set I got? Because he loves putting Porsha in a good moo, right? I don't know what the difference was with his ex. She was in like J Lux label and like I don't even know, probably some expensive stuff, but it was little, it was tight, it was showing everything. Porsha gets moo-moos. All right. So she's like, babe, what do you think of this new moo-moo? And he's just looking at her like with his hand right on call with the moving brand, talking about something. I don't know. I am a movers on feet. If this show is not a hit and she does not bring him the fame that he so desperately wants, I'm telling you, the movers are good. But then again, how's he gonna have the movers on deck? Because they don't even live together. So what they gonna do? I guess this time it's like he learned his lesson. They don't even live together. So where's the movers gonna be on deck at? But anyway, let's get into this, right? She's going into the comments. She's seeding the comments. She's trying to whip everybody up in a frenzy hey, thank you for the super chat, Charlotte. Charlotte Dozier, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that, mama. So she's trying to whip everybody up in a frenzy to hate Dennis, right? So Tamika D. Mowry jumps in with an eye roll emoji. Now, I know when I did my video, if you haven't watched it, shame on you. And whoever raised you, to quote Portia Williams. But honestly, y'all know how I feel about Tamika Mowry. Y'all know how I feel about the current thing. Shouldn't you be off trying to save the nation? What are you doing responding with eye roll emojis over something that's about entertainment value, right? But whatever. It's not my thing, right? Trying to save the nation. She busy filming Cadillac commercials, talking about the soul of America can be yours for a low APR, 2.9%. But anyway, Porsha responded to Tamika, right? And she said, hold on really quick. Oh, isn't that interesting? Okay. So, listen. So anyway, I just got some breaking news, but we're not going to report that. Let me finish this, right? Because they're trying to pull focus. Anyway, so she responded to Tamika. Hey, a scene I just shot with Dennis about a week ago. It was awful. I don't know if they'll air it out or not, but I have to put my foot down when it comes to attacking me as single mom, right? So then somebody else said, what's Dennis say? Now, rightly, Porsha got dragged for saying she was a single mom for a number of reasons, right? Let's go, because it's important you guys know this, so let me run down the list. For a number of reasons, she got dragged. For one, you're not a single mom. Now, I know she tried to post the Webster's definition of what a single mom is, but we all know from living in America, when somebody calls somebody a single mom, it is a term of art. A term of art used to show empathy, sympathy, or even ridicule and scorn. It is meant to signify a woman who has had a child, has either been abandoned by their mate by being widowed, by being divorced, or even being broken up with, has been abandoned by their mate, has no partner, and not even that is a single mom. You are 100% solely responsible for providing emotional, financial, and physical care. That is the definition of a single mom. And unfortunately, in America, there are way too many single moms across all races, creed, colors, religion, whatever you want, right? So when somebody's like, yo, let's give a shout out to like single moms, they're not talking about Jeff Bezos' ex, who is worth Mackenzie Bezos, who's worth $800 billion, that is now raising kids because she's not married. Do you see what I'm saying? Everybody realizes that. And Porsha realizes that. The only reason she said single mom is because she was trying to elicit sympathy. Now, I find it odd that she didn't give a damn if Kenya was a single mom. And to me, Kenya actually was a single mom because she was going through a mark. She doesn't have a mother, and she doesn't have the support system out there she doesn't have the support system out there that Porsha seems to have. Not only that, you guys have to remember, not even 4 days ago, she was on Access Hollywood, right? Not even 4 days ago, she was on, I think it was E! Entertainment or Access Hollywood, saying that Dennis is the perfect dad. She couldn't ask for a better co-parent. She said that her fiance was worth hundreds of millions, right? She said her fiance was worth hundreds of millions. And she also said that, uh, what else? She was worth hundreds of millions. He was worth hundreds of millions. And they also said that Dennis had money. And Dennis was the best father she could ever ask for Pilar. She even posted something on Mother's Day saying these two kangs are doing what grown ass men do, and they're committed to co-parenting PJ. So her daughter don't even got one daddy. She got two daddies that both love her and they're committed to things, right? Now, right? Let's see. Now, where are we, right? So then somebody said, what did Dennis say? And she said, it's coming up. We just filmed it. Disgusting. Not even sure if they'll air it's what that's how trifling it is. I'm just making it clear. Don't ever come for the primary parent. Now, Porsha is not the primary parent because the primary parent is another term of art, and the primary parent is actually a legal term. The primary parent is the person the child spends the most time with. Porsha and Dennis have never gotten a custody thing set out. Up until this point, Dennis and Dennis's mom has been super, super, super involved in their daughter's life, and they also split time evenly. They split child rearing costs equally. Partly, okay, so we'll get into this. Porsha said, now hold on, I'm going to get into what Dennis said, but you need to know this background. Porsha said that Dennis don't even, well, let's get into this, right? Porsha said that Dennis don't pay child support. She said he doesn't pay child support, and she's pretty sure he's not a multimillionaire. This is very important to remember this. I can let you guys know, and you guys probably figured it out. Dennis doesn't pay child support because there's not a court order. Child support is what the court orders you to pay. Dennis and Porsha have an agreement about how they split expenses for Pilar. Up until this week, Porsha was very, very happy with it. Porsha is mad about the edit she's getting. Now, I know she tried to front in the beginning, acting like she had all this power as executive producer, but I told you she doesn't have any power. And you can tell she doesn't because your show, where you wanted to get away from everybody from Real Housewives of Atlanta and actually control your narrative, you are getting balled up and dragged all up and down the reality TV streets, right? So it's clear by now you don't have any power. And the only thing you can do is resort to this playbook of trying to get everybody mad at Dennis. It did blow up in her face with a single mom because a lot of Porsha's fans and a lot of people these days, men or women, are single parents. And if anybody's ever been a single parent, you don't take lightly to someone using it as a cloak. The same way she used being homeless. If you guys didn't read her book, you should watch my book review. Porsha actually said that when she left Cordell, she was homeless. Now, Cordell, she had a condo that had a $4,000 a month mortgage she could have gone to. Why did she sell that condo? Because while she was married to Cordell paid that mortgage every month that they were married so she could keep that condo. She also moved into her mom's house, right? Into the master suite. She was also starring on the biggest reality TV show in America at that time. So she had that money, and she literally went and moved into a mansion, right? She literally went and moved into a mansion. She wasn't homeless. Being homeless is when you have no money to find secure, safe housing that has hot water, has running water, and has electricity. But we all know this. But Porsha just plays these things, right? So she said it'll never come from the primary parent. She's not really the primary parent, right? There's no court order. There's nothing. And up until this point, Dennis has been 50-50. One of the reasons why. Oh, 6 new members. I want to welcome All for Beauty, Chell Bay, Christopher, Wanisha, Heather White, and Mrs. AWOL. Welcome, 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 welcome. Okay. So back to what I was saying about the Dennis situation. One of the reasons why she never went to child support, is because in Atlanta, they look at both parents' income. So unlike in California, they might just look at the dad's income, and you know how it is, right? In Atlanta, they look at, excuse me, I'm still jet lagged. They look at both parents' income. So it would have been an issue for Porsha, right? She also said that she's not sure if Dennis is a millionaire. And this is also very important to remember, because remember when she was bragging, showing off the Chanel bag, saying all this stuff, showing off all the beautiful things he gave her and things he did, and telling us that Dennis had money and he was a millionaire. Now that she ain't messing with him anymore, he is broke, right? So then Polsky says, but isn't he the one who bought you a $750,000 engagement ring? Come on now. He can afford a Rolex. Porsha said, it was about $100,000 and it could never be resold. Jeweler said it was severely treated and apparently if they removed the ring from the setting, it would break. Of course I gave it back when the engagement was off. Okay, let me tell you guys something, right? This is why all this is important. First of all, dum-dum, everybody knows that when you buy jewelry, it depreciates. Now, over time, if you keep it, it retains value, but it does depreciate. So if you have $1 million ring, right? And you try to sell it back to the jeweler, it's almost like buying a car. As soon as you drive it from the lot, it loses like a third or 50% of its value, right? You go back to a jeweler and you're like, I want to return this ring a year later. And a jeweler's like, I'll give you 500,000 or maybe even less for it. Also, it is interesting to me that the way she's describing it sounds like she took it to a pawn shop or she tried to sell the ring to see how much she could get. Now, I'm not talking trash about that because Dennis, and I got to put this out there, Dennis did play Porsha. Dennis did treat Porsha like crap. Dennis does have a not a history, but he has known that when he does not respect women, he'll say something to them. And he can be a little rough in the way he says it, right? That said, it's funny that Dennis is still more likable than you and your fiance. Listen, it was severely treated, and apparently if they removed the ring from the setting, it would break. That is not true. That sounds like bullshit that somebody tells you in a pawn shop. If the ring would have broken, if they would have removed it from the setting, that means the ring was already broken when they put it in the setting. And when you went to have it appraised, you should have saw it. Again, this is important. Hold that in your mind. So where do we start, right? You guys just need a little bit more of background information. I have a cup of coffee. Hold on, guys. I'm jet lagged. Hold on. Okay, right? So, you guys weren't supposed to see that coffee. Anyway. Okay, where do we start from this, right? If you guys are members of my members only live, you would know about a month or two, I actually disclosed that there was a fight on Porsha's Family Matters, right? I also disclosed who that fight was with. This is from a month or two ago. You guys probably have already figured out by the way this is going, but Porsha actually gets into something with Dennis's mom. Now, whether she was able to connect to Dennis's mom, who knows? But as you can see, there's things that are ramping up. There's tensions that's ramping up. She can't, keep in mind, I'm going somewhere with this. Remember this. She can't take it out on Dennis because one, Dennis ain't bothered. Dennis don't care. And Dennis is busy chilling with Erica, right? That's the girl he bought on the trip. However, right? She keeps focusing on his mom. And even Lauren says, why is she focusing on his mom when you're just mad at Dennis, right? Everything blows up. She tried to come for his mom. I don't know if any blows happened, but you guys saw the melee. It was things that, first of all, Dennis's mom, she looks great for her age, but she is an elder. She's not like, she's an elder. What are you doing trying to come to blows and turning up on anybody's mother, right? On anybody's family member, but especially your daughter's family member. There are certain boundaries that you can never cross because how does one come back from this, right? How does one come back from certain people's boundaries being crossed? This is a good point because you guys, when that fight happened, okay, let me just take one more step back and then we'll get into it, okay? I know you're like, oh, get to the point. We'll just take one more step back and then we'll get to the point, right? So we have Porsha being mad that Dennis doesn't really seem to care that she's with Simon. And I know y'all saying that Portia's still in love with Dennis, and maybe Porsha has a sick, warped version of love. I don't know. But from what I see, Dennis took Porsha through hell. Porsha wants Dennis to suffer and see her happy and see her win. But at what cost? You're so desperate to stick it back to Dennis and let him see you winning and let him know you won that you are literally destroying yourself in the process. You're destroying your image. Okay, fine. That's the first thing. But we also need to realize, right? We also need to realize that when we talk about this, we also need to realize that there was an altercation, right? It involved Dennis's mom and someone else, maybe Erica. That's the girl Dennis had. We need to actually keep that in mind, right? We also, right, need to keep in mind that the man she's with has a history. This has been alleged by people that's been with him, that he always tries to get in between relationships between father and their child. He tries to push the father out for some reason. I believe Fallon said in the interview when I interviewed her that Simon literally didn't want the other father around. And what's more, he wanted to adopt her youngest child. He wanted to adopt all her boys and wanted to adopt the youngest child. Now, you guys could be like, oh, that's so sweet. But he was really doing it out of control because when Simon walked away, he walked away from all the boys. You cannot tell me that somebody went from wanting to adopt children and raising them as fathers to walking away, no matter what the mom did, no matter what you think the mom did, yes or no. Now, let's get more into this, right? Because, hold on really quick. Okay, so you have a man that pushes wedges between the father and the child. You have Porsha, who was happy up until how long ago with her and Dennis's arrangement. Dennis was even so kind as to pose on that Mother's Day bruncheon with Porsha. If you guys didn't know, my sources are telling me that Mother's Day bruncheon was actually, that Dennis organized, was actually taped by Bravo. They just thought the footage was so boring, they didn't use it, right? You now have Porsha saying that like the ring and this and that. After the argument happened and in light of everything's going on, they all decided, and by they, I mean Dennis and whoever's in the side, my sources are saying Porsha went back and said, because she didn't like the way Dennis was looking. She didn't like, right now what we're talking about, she didn't like the way Dennis was looking to the public. She didn't like what was going on. So Porsha decided to get back in the booth and film some more green screens and even see if she could film a scene or two. I know a lot of people are saying, oh my God, they're filming, that must be season 2. They're not filming like a bunch of stuff. They're filming like filler in 4 episodes, right? It, like she said, we filmed a scene, not scenes, but we filmed a scene, right? Because they're filming it. Porsha felt like she had something more to say. The producers were happy to drag her along with it, right? The thing is, when Porsha went to that meeting to film that scene, she thought for whatever reason that she was dealing with old Dennis. Old Dennis was always trying to promote his businesses, his restaurants, whatever. And old Dennis was always trying to use housewives as a point of of what you should do, exploiting it to actually grow, right? So sometimes Dennis would just let Porsha take the control. But the thing is, old Dennis was always shocked at the way Porsha would have him looking crazy and would use the cameras to kind of smack him back or hit him back or put him in his place. When Porsha came to film the scene this time, new Dennis was waiting. New Dennis was just like Miss Gina. They wasn't going to let her breathe. Porsha started with her bullshit. Dennis started with his. The thing that Portia's freaking out about and what was actually said, if I tell you guys exactly what's said, it's going to expose my source. And I don't want to do that. But I can tell you the gist of what was discussed. Dennis is going for custody of Pilar. Now, I don't know if he wants 100% custody. I doubt Dennis would ever try to cut the mother of his child out. However, in light of the fact that Porsha is moving mad, in light of the fact that she seems to be just moved, like literally be thrown off by the guy she's dating, and in light of the fact that she is moving at warp speed, in light of the fact that she literally tested, this is what my sources are saying, right? And you'll be able to see when the pursuit of Porsha comes back, whether the sources are right or not, that she is literally testing Dennis's mom to the point of that melee that we saw in the previews, right? It was already, they kind of had this unspoken equilibrium, which to me is the best type of parenting. However, in light of what's happened, in light of what Porsha's shown, and why Dennis wants an actual established custody of Pilar, an actual established custody of Pilar, the support, the money, all that he is. Now, here's the thing about Dennis, right? Remember when Dennis said, Porsha, I know you? Listen, y'all can say what y'all want about Dennis Mckinley, and a lot of things can be said about that man, right? However, Dennis is not stupid at all. Dennis from day one with Porsha, because Dennis's mom, as you can see from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, what I'm basing myself on, and you guys, this is my opinion. Take it how you want. It's my opinion. You ain't got to believe me. Go watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Go look at Instagram posts. Do this, that. We're not here to argue, right? I'm giving you my opinion. Dennis's mom clocked Porsha from the beginning. You saw the Real Housewives, the way she's like, yeah, this is a family business. It's a prenup. What, you don't want to marry him anymore? Dennis clocked Porsha from the beginning, right? Now, whether or not she was right in her assessment, she felt like she clocked her. And she was whispering in her son's ear, like any good mother would. What parent sees their child about to take an L, or they believe is going to be taken advantage of, and doesn't whisper in the ear? Now, whether or not she was right is not of the business. She was doing what any loving and concerned mother would do for their son or daughter. It could be argued that maybe Miss Diane should have been whispering in Portia's ear a little bit more. It could be argued. I don't know. Miss Diane seems like a lovely mother, but people have said maybe she should have been whispering in Portia's ear a little bit more. In light of all that has happened, Dennis has been keeping receipts from day one, right? Listen. Dennis has been literally taking notes about Porsha, all her activities, what she's into, what she does, the way that she acts, the way that she moves. He's been taking it from day one. From day one. And he has his receipts lined up and ready to go. The issue about what she's saying, you accuse me of Pilar. First of all, if you look at production, right? If you look at production, when they actually film, you only get at maximum 3 days off between scene. It's not like production's like, okay, thanks for filming and we'll see you next month. Production films back to back. Now, when you finish like a remote filming, they give you about 2 or 3 days to get yourself back, and then they catch up on filming. For Porsha to say that they took another week in Mexico, right? For Porsha to say they took another week in Mexico, the first question is, how did you get that much time off from production unless you already scheduled it, right? The second one, Dennis is doubting whether Pilar was there. Dennis, it looks like, is doubting whether or not, since she's been gallivanting with this man, whether or not Pilar's even around. Like, listen, it's cool if you want to go off and be on any side of the world, but if I'm coming to pick up my daughter from her grandma's house, why can't she just stay with me? And then when you get back, you come pick her up. But that's not what it was, because the funny thing is, and y'all can say what y'all want, but from what I heard, in my opinion, the same way Porsha was holding on to that robe to get under Dennis' skin seems like, or could be said, it's the same way she'd rather Pilar stay with her mom than stay with Dennis to get under Dennis' skin. Let me tell y'all something. Controlling people, and people, they don't change. And I'm not saying Porsha is right or wrong. I'm just saying that people's habits are people's habits, and people's characters are people's characters. And the fact that Dennis wants something or loves something or cares about something, right? And withholding it or keeping it out of your reach, it's going to get under your skin. What makes you think that that won't stop when it comes to children? Again, Porsha has shown from these posts she will be petty. She will be immature. She will say things that, listen, will say things that nobody cares about. You sitting there talking about Dennis and how when you were with him, he was the next Bill Gates. And now that you're not with him and you want to make him look bad, now you're telling all his business, right? Business that we're just like, okay, so he's giving out fake roles because it's embarrassing. But Porsha, you realize we talking about bigger things, right? You talking about child custody. And then you're trying to embarrass him, talking about he giving out fake robe, basically trying to call him broke. Which lets you know what Porsha, her biggest fear is actually being called broke or people thinking that she is broke, or worse yet, the man she's with is broke, right? But back to that, withholding. So you're going with someone that their move to get aggressive, even with the mother that gave you birth, right? They're acting petty, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're moving mad. What is the next step except for child custody? The thing is, when you go into child custody, you also show the person. Dennis knows Porsha. Listen, everybody in Atlanta knows what the deal is with Simon. Everybody knows Simon, even though he's like, I'm a one-woman man and I'm a Christian. Yeah, you might be a Christian and you might be all that and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know what your daddy, your granddaddy, your stepfather, I don't know what the men in your life actually did. But everybody knows that Simon is a trick. If you don't believe me, go watch Tasha K's interview on Ty. If you don't believe me, go to Red Martini in Atlanta, right? Go to Red Martini in Atlanta and talk to the one bottle girl and her other bottle girl girlfriend that works at that other club that Porsha and them are always at. That Porsha didn't know, like, what you doing chilling with them? Go to Red Martini and just post up and see if you don't see Mr. Gabadia or meet somebody that knows Mr. Gabadia. And I'm not talking about the pre-Porsha days, right? If you don't believe me. Thank you so much, Jay, Queen of Destiny. Go check that out now, right? Let me listen to what I'm saying on this. Here's the thing why Dennis has been taking receipts. And also why Dennis is like, if this man is stressing you out, Pilar can just be with me full time, right? Because Dennis knows Porsha. And the streets are saying that even when Porsha was dating Dennis, right? When she was pregnant with Pilar and when she had Pilar, my reports are to be believed. You can believe what you want. The evidence is on Instagram. Go check it out. Porsha would be popping up on Dennis, chasing after him, trying to see what he's up to. Now, listen, Dennis was a cheater. Dennis was in the streets. Dennis wasn't taking Porsha seriously because Dennis and Porsha had only been dating, it looked like, for about 6 weeks before she actually got pregnant, right? It's a cautionary tale. Make sure you know, right? However, we saw that scene with Porsha and Miss Diane when she was like, you got a good job. You got credit. Just take me. We saw, but Porsha wasn't joking. He knows the way Porsha acts when a man is stressing her out, right? He knows the way Porsha acts when a man's stressing her out. He knows how she'll lose her mind and try to pop up on him and be chasing up after him and popping up on Dennis's the club and popping up here. Speaking of which, can I just debunk a rumor? Because a lot of y'all have been talking about, y'all, right? First of all, there's 2,372 people. Why always, guys, this conversation with y'all? There's 2,372 people in this live, and there's only 600 likes. Why y'all doing this? Y'all see me out here y'all see me out here doing the running man, crunking, breaking it down, literally. Everybody mad, same old Tisa from the block. Y'all see me doing everything I can to entertain y'all, doing jazz hands. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my darling time. And y'all only got 600 likes. Y'all ain't seeing heaven. It literally takes 2 seconds to move your finger down, literally, and just hit the like button. Are y'all serious? I'm out here doing something. MC Hammer, too legit, hey, too legit. And y'all can't even hit that like button. Y'all ain't seeing heaven. Anyway, listen, I'm just saying, y'all see me out here shucking and jiving, and y'all just 600 people just sitting there watching, probably like literally laying there with your headphones in, or literally rolling your eyes at your boss, trying to ignore customers, but you can't hit the like button. The only excuse I have, if you got your earpods in and you got your hair over your ears so nobody knows that you're listening. That's the only excuse that you guys can have for not liking this video. But I don't think 2,000 of you guys are hiding your earpods from your boss while you're listening right now. All right, so listen. So anyway, where was I? Oh, that's right, dragon. So anyway, he knows how she is. He knows how she loses her mind when she's stressed out. And again, that's not shading her, because any woman, if you're in love with someone, imagine Porsha being in love with Simon, right? Simon, well, anyway, listen, all those things, right? Imagine all those things happening. You just flipped out on my mom. You just did this and that. They're going for custody. The reason why now Porsha is doing this thing and she wants that scene cut and she wants these scene cuts is, listen, Porsha's been through mediation before when she's lied her butt off. You can lie a little bit in mediation. You're not supposed to, but you kind of can. In a court of law, you cannot perjure yourself. That is not anything to joke around with. She knows Dennis has receipts. Dennis has actually even set some of those receipts, and now she wants scenes cut because she doesn't want it to interfere with anything with custody. Again, remember that robe. When Dennis loves something, when Dennis wants something, when something is outside of the focus, but she can use it to hurt him, she will. She will. And she don't care if everybody tells her she's crazy. She will. Now I know what y'all saying. Okay, there's a difference between a robe and like custody. There is. But you saw the way she acted on the internet when she was mad. And the real reason she's mad is that Dennis is the star of the show, somebody you hated and thought you were going to drag it as a victory lap. True, there is a difference between a living, breathing human being and a robe, but you guys just saw her acting a fool on the internet. Literally, she was playing for the whole thing, unbothered, I don't care, but then her true self came out and she finally snapped. And now she wants us to know that Dennis is broke and Dennis is this and Dennis is that, which oddly enough, I find it funny, right? We're going off on, for those of y'all that need instructions and like signs, we're going off on another tangent, all right? I know a lot of you guys have been and are like, you need to be straightforward. Stop moving all over the place. So I'm going to start having indicators. Tangent time, right? Thank you, common thread. Thank you. Thank you, common thread. So thank you for the super chat. And yes, hit the like while you sip your tea. You guys, wait until things implode with Porsha and Simon. I don't know. Well, I do know how much money Dennis. I know in a roundabout way how much money Dennis has. Dennis is not broke. Dennis actually does super well for himself. Dennis in the last year during quarantine has made a big leap. But here's the difference, sweetie. Dennis never tried to front like he was a millionaire. Dennis never tried to front like he had the most money in Atlanta. Dennis never tried to do any of those things. That's that ninja you're with right now that's trying to front. I find it funny that in your book, you gave a shout out to Dennis, who was the best father ever. I find it funny in this book that when you spent the night at Dennis's house, the first time y'all went on a date, the one thing that you said was you thought he was just some regular guy, but you went into his house and it was decorated so nice and there was art on all the walls. And you're like, ooh, he's kind of cultured. You was letting us know that your baby daddy had money. Now you're trying to tell us Dennis is broke. Now you're trying to tell us that Dennis was giving out fake Rolexes. Now you're trying to tell us that Dennis, with a $750,000 ring, it was a ring that was $100K. But this is another thing with Porsha, because Porsha really talked to people that ain't never been anywhere or got anything. Sweetie, right? Let me tell y'all something. A ring that is so imperfect that if you remove it from its setting, it's going to crack is not $100K. You know that, right? Y'all know that, right? Even when Porsha be lying and trying to embarrass people, right? Listen, even when Porsha be trying to embarrass people, she still trips over her own lies. Sweetie, how did the jewelers get a ring that was $100,000? They appraised it. So let me tell you something about jewelry appraisal, right? A jewelry appraisal is never going to be what you paid for it. It's not, right? Oh, thank you, lady in waiting. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Listen, jewelry is not. So let's just say you spend $500,000 on a ring. When you go to get it, not appraised, but because appraisal will kind of give that value. What I'm trying to say is when you go to see if you can sell it, when you try to get the resale value, when you talk and then you're just like, yo, I got this ring. How much will you give me for it, right? They're never going to give you what you paid. They're not even going to give you half of what you paid, right? 100,000 sounds like a jewel. And that's another thing when you go in there, because Porsha, I don't know, maybe she don't know about shit and she's not that bright. When you go in there, they also are not that ethical. So you go in there and I'm just like, here's this priceless necklace. Oh, where's my necklace? Here's this necklace that my mom gave me. How much could you give it for? Now, maybe your mom spent, I don't know, 20,000 on a necklace. Maybe resale value, they know they can maybe get 15,000 on it. So what are they going to do? They're going to say, okay, so probably it's worth like maybe 9,000, right? But if they come and they look you up and down and they see you don't really know what's going on, you're going to ask how much you're going to get. And they're going to look you up and down. They're going to say, it's not worth more than 2,000. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this on the brain magnesium. Sorry. Look at this, right? Look at this. Look at this label, right? That took 10,000 off. Ooh, look at this right there. That took 5,000 off. They're going to sit there and lowball you because it's like, if you're dumb enough to take the money, why not do it? It doesn't hurt them. And if you leave, oh well, right? Because they have people trying to sell stuff all the time. So for a jeweler to say that anything was worth 100,000, he spent some goddamn money on it. Let me tell you something. And let me tell you something about diamonds. Diamonds that are so imperfect that they crack, if it's removed from the setting, don't cost $100,000. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. It doesn't cost $100,000. So already she got caught in one lie trying to call Dennis broke, right? But let's just say Dennis is broke, right? Let's just believe this truth Porsha's talking about. And this is important. Just hold on to this. This is important. You need to believe that Porsha was the one. Dennis ain't never said he ain't money. Dennis ain't never said he was rich. I remember Dennis put up an Instagram post. Porsha put up a Instagram post because I think Dennis had rented out like one of those tourist boats for her birthday to have like a boat party, and she was like, yacht life. And Dennis commented, what you talking about, yacht life? It's just a boat, Porsha. Dennis ain't never tried to front like he had more than he did. He didn't. So you can never say that Dennis is anything like Simon. However, wasn't Porsha the one trying to act like Dennis was rich? Wasn't he the one trying to prancing him around, right, on camera, right? Wasn't she the one doing press and having him in front of the cast about how much money he has and how much he's doing this, right? So you can't even say that Dennis was trying to front. But do you know why this is important? Do you know why this is important? Because guess who else she's doing press for, saying that they're rich? Guess who else did they have them prancing out in front of everybody, talking about, how much? Guess who? Should I do a reenactment? Should I do a reenactment? Guess who she was sitting there talking about something? So you got, how many cars you got? You got 5 cars. Looking at the camera. You got 5 cars? And he's like, I got 2 cars, which, funny enough, right? You got to listen to what people say. Remember how Simon said, I got 2 cars? And Porsha was like, you got 5 cars? And he's like, I got 2 cars. Well, y'all, right? Funny thing is, Simon's just posted him and Porsha's new house that they moved into. Now, don't get too excited. Don't get too excited because, first of all, Simon ain't got 5 cars anymore. He got 2 cars in a house, right? So I wonder where he got the money for the down payment for the house. Second of all, Porsha went half on that house. How'd she get that money? This is going to be a new video, right? Porsha said she went in on that house with them, dummy. Why would you go in? Anyway, I don't even got to say it, right? But Porsha said she went into the house. They bought it, blah, 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 blah. Simon now got 2 cars instead of 5, right? There's a new house, right? But before y'all get excited, don't. Before y'all be like, yes, Porsha secured the bag. First of all, they ain't married. So whatever. Second of all, right? Simon said that he has a team of movers on demand to move the woman out, right? Third of all, Simon is good for buying a house, buying a property, buying anything, and just walking away from it. Listen, if Porsha is not on that deed, right? If Porsha is not on that deed, then Simon's just going to wrap her up and roll her out. If Porsha is on that deed, that's still stupid of her. Because If y'all go to Fulton County Courthouse and put in Simon's name and see how many people he owed money to and just walked away, it's like putting your name. Y'all ever have that cousin that beg you to put the car in your name? Be like, yo, could you co-sign on a car? Could you co-sign on a car? And your mom and your aunties are like, don't co-sign, because they just be walking away from bills, right? And you co-sign on the car for them, and then 6 months later that's just being repossessed, and the cousin don't care because their credit's already messed up, and they're just like, whatever, they can take it. And you're just like, what are you doing? Simon's that cousin. Simon is that cousin. Simon's that cousin. So if Porsha did do it, I would just say, okay, whatever, right? Now, I saw somebody in the super chat that said, but her former assistant is saying that Dennis was out of pocket the entire trip, right? Right? Listen, let me tell y'all something. Her former assistant, which is one of her good friend, Dom, her former assistant was on a family trip. Like Aunt Lynn said, I think that was her name, like her auntie said, that boy ain't even family, and it's Portia's friend. Shut up. Listen, if I want to hear something about someone, I don't want to hear the people. Again, even when I was looking for stuff to see what was going on with Simon, I actually tried to lean into people that seemed to like him or respect him or be cool with him. But I did find out easily that Simon is not, by the African community, it's my opinion, by the African community in Atlanta, Simon is not respected. He is not known. People think he is a fraud. People think he is a joke. People just think he's just like, ooh, like low classy. They just don't mess with him like that, right? As a whole, they just don't mess with him like that. When I'm trying to get something on someone, I don't go to people that don't like them, right? And I don't go to people's friends. I want to know what everybody's saying. But for Dom to say, what are you talking about? That's not, I think that's a person or assistant's name. That's not true, right? The whole Atlanta already knows what happened during that trip in the spinoff before we even saw it. Do you know why? Because that thing was such a shit show that everybody involved came home and they were talking. And if you know anything about Atlanta, right? One person talk, two person talk. Before you know it, everybody in the block know. Before you know it, everybody on the street know. Before you know it, everybody knows. Now, I know Atlanta is its own ecosystem. So no, you're not going to hear in California or LA what happened in Atlanta. But everybody already knew what happened on that trip. So for Dom to now come and be like, oh, he was out of pocket that whole trip. Everybody already knows what happened on the trip. And no, let me tell y'all something, right? Listen, everybody came home on that trip talking. And the funny thing is, right? I find it funny that not until Porsha goes crazy trying to diminish her daughter's father, what you got to talk about with co-parenting. I'll say one thing about Dennis. Dennis is a mess. Dennis did take Porsha through some mess. But Dennis's shade to Porsha is so light. It's so nuanced that I cannot see Pilar growing up and thinking that Dennis was talking trash about her mommy. Now, okay, the show's a different thing, right? But Porsha going on an Instagram rampage, one, because Dennis is the star of the show, two, because she's jealous, and three, because you want to see Dennis hurt, but also four, Dennis is going, my sources are telling me, Dennis wants custody firmly established. Dennis is not depending on the kindness of Porsha. And what's more, Porsha got this man around. Dennis knows that he's in the streets, right? That's my opinion. One could say, Dennis can see that man. Dennis knows people at the Rent Martini too. Dennis knows who's in the streets. Dennis knows that there's something a little bit off. At the very least, it's so fast, and I don't know this man around my child, and I want things now firmly established. And now, since this guy came into your life, this little equilibrium we had, whether you can say it was positive or not, that equilibrium they had has been destroyed completely, to the point of you looking at her like, yo, I always knew you were a little crazy, but I didn't know you were like this. So he's trying to get custody established. Porsha wants these scenes cut because they make her look bad as a parent. Basically saying that when you are traveling all over the place, right, and spending time with your man, your mama got my daughter. So if your mama got my daughter and I still got to ask you for permission about whether I can pick up my kid from your mama's house, then why don't we just establish this thing? And when she's not with you, she's with me. How about that? But again, just like that robe, again, and I know Porsha loves her daughter. I'm not assuming that Porsha is just like a negligent mom, but this is why she is worried. But also, I think she's fighting him so much is because she knows that this is something he really wants and something that's important to him. And Porsha just wants to be difficult. Porsha just wants to be difficult. Listen, Kriana, he opens wider and wider for sense. Listen, I don't know anything about that. I can't. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Cher Brown, and thank you for the super chat, Kiana. LP Franklin, thank you also for the super chat, right? Thank you guys for the super chat. Now, I will say this, right? The reason why this is so important is because the same way Porsha fronted for Dennis about they got so much money, because it's important for Porsha for people to know that she got money, right? And it's fine, right? But one of the reasons why this is so important, I think, is like, who else is she fronting for? Who else is she parading in front of the cameras? Who else is she's acting like is 100 millionaire? And she knows now that there's some serious issues with this thing. Even the way they sat up there and posted that picture from American Cut. American Cut is a steakhouse. There's one in New York. There's now one reopening in Atlanta. There's all these places, right? It's under the LDV group. The LDV group is huge in New York. The LDV group, Simon says he was one of the few people invited to invest. I don't think that's true. And a restaurant, when you invest in restaurants, that's not how it works when they're looking for investors. That's not how it works. Second of all, Simon's percentage in the LDV, and if I'm wrong, I invite Mr. Gabodia to please post the receipts, is such a minority percentage. They could literally pay him back right now, and ain't nothing going to change. I don't know where you guys got this rumor that Porsha and Simon are invested in a restaurant. Porsha and Simon wasn't even around together, according to them, in 2018. So how the hell did Porsha invest in this? They don't own American Cut. Now, listen, they own American Cut the same way I own Apple. I got some Apple stock, so I'm an owner of Apple. Everyone, I'm going to post, right? Listen. Hold on a second. Sorry. I'm looking at sorry, you guys. Anyway, Simon owns such a small percentage of that restaurant. It's laughable. To me, it's laughable. For Simon and them to say, listen, the same way I would like all of you to send me a personal thank you for your Apple iPhones. Because of myself and the board of Apple and the other numerous people that invested in Apple, you now have the update. Everybody say thank you to Tisa. Everybody say thank you to me. This is what I'm talking about. The way they are liars. And again, Porsha's doing the same thing she did to Dennis. Porsha is pumping up and she's trying to act like this man got money. Just like she was trying to act like Dennis had money. And now that she's mad at Dennis, and now that she's like worried about what's going on with that stuff, and now that she's worried about how she looks as a mom, and all these things that Dennis is coming for the thing, now she wants to let all the business out. How long before this crumbles and she's crying into her Wheaties on the floor, right? But this time Carlos King is not available to plop on top of her, to hold her back, and she's crying about how Simon duped her and she thought she had more. The fact that they got on on Mark Zuckerberg's Instagram, right? And had the nerve to word shit. And I know Porsha didn't write that shit because it sounded just like Simon and his King's English. Simon swears he is the voice of the nation. He needs to go to a writing class. He just, ugh. And before y'all say about her and that ghostwriter, and Porsha's book and her ghostwriter, stop it. But anyway, listen. The way they tried to put that post up and act like they are like this is their restaurant and they own it. Okay, technically you have a very, very, very small percentage of it, but when you come into percentage of a restaurant, right? You can be an investor, but to call yourself an owner, you need to have an owning majority. To be an owner, you need to have a majority invested the majority of money in a restaurant, in a company, in a corporation to call yourself an owner. Words mean something. They do. So when you throw around things like single mom, when you throw around things like you got 5 cars instead of 2, when you throw around things like I'm an owner, I'm a father, I'm a good mother, words mean something. And sometimes these words are true. I do believe that Porsha is a good mother to Pilar. I don't think it was ever in question. I do believe that Dennis has the right to firmly establish custody now. I do believe that, right? Fair is fair. I believe they're both good parents to Pilar. Now, whether they were good mates to each other, no, but they were good parents. But my whole point is for Simon to say he owns a restaurant, that is is intellectually dishonest. You are an investor. You are a very small investor. You own a small percentage, but you do not own an owning percentage. Again, I know y'all might be like, okay, whatever. But again, say thank you to the Apple iPhones, because I have Apple stock and I am an owner in iPhone. So say thank you next time you get your thing. Now, J Queen Destiny said, I live in Atlanta. I wonder if Simon is the guy that bought Ludacris's bar. I heard that person went bankrupt and tried to sell it back, right? Yes, Simon is the person that bought that the bottle bar after Ludacris. Now, whether he tried to sell it back, I don't know. It sounds like something he would do, but I don't know if he tried to sell it back. But yes, he did own it and he went bankrupt. As a matter of fact, most of Simon's places did go out of business. Now, to be fair, we did just go through a Panera Bread situation. So a lot of restaurants went out of business or temporarily closed, which is why American Cut is actually opening it again with the LDV group. But the LDV group is the owner of American Cut. They were invited as local investors, but it's a small percentage and it is not an owning percentage at all. So when he says we invite you back, that's why when they first posted that mess, right? They just said date night with my love, but then Porsha, I think, this is just my opinion, right? This isn't based on any insight knowledge. This is my opinion about how that went. They said date night, but then because Porsha always has to fluff and always has to make things seem like it's more, and because Simon has a pathological need to make sure it's more, they're very well suited, right? They reposted it, and this time literally made themselves seem like they were owners of the restaurant. Again, investor is different than owners. I can be an investor in Apple to be and I own my shares that I invested in. This is true. But do I have an owning percentage in Apple? Am I an owner for the purposes of IRS? No, I'm just an investor. Owning is to own 51% or more. Simon isn't Simon ain't even getting into those numbers a percentage. But again, if I have if I have $50,000 in Apple stock, if I have $100,000 in Apple stock, if I have $500,000 in Apple stock, am I an owner in Apple? No, I just own my very small percentage. Anyway, listen. Okay, fine. Hold on. I'll let you guys call in a second. Let me just get through this mess. Propam, because I have some other stuff to say. I'll get through it really quick and then I'll open it to call-ins. Propam said, Porsha needs some serious help. Where's Alana when we need her? Ayana. We would fight Ayana because she will fight Ayana because she can't handle the truth. I don't know. Ayana looks like, Ayanla looks like she can put some work in. I don't know. Porsha could neck if she bucks if she was. Ayana looks like she's putting in work, right? Okay, so listen. Listen. Oh, now let's look at this. Hold on. I want to show you guys this. Okay. So anyway, Simon posted, y'all keep sending me this. Let me read it to y'all, right? Simon posted pictures of their new house. It's in the driveway. He's showing his cars. He's showing the walkway. Okay, great. They got a house. He sold a few cars to get the house. That's wonderful, right? Again, we're gonna get into that, right? Again, you're showing the house, you're doing this, you're doing that. I don't understand people that show whatever. Anyway, right? Um, Simon is someone that is so easy. I would never in a million years, but like somebody needs to send Simon to a docs class about how not to get doxxed. This man, but again, you know why it is? Simon is 60 years old. And sometimes I know I'm very hard on that person, but he's 60 years old. And it's like trying to explain to like, I don't want to say your grandparents, because again, I know people that are 60, 70, 80 with more energy and doing it more than me. Age is truly nothing but a number. Truly nothing but a number. Seriously. But when I say he's 60, I feel like he grew up in times when like the internet didn't exist, when he's new to Instagram and when he doesn't understand how the social media game works. And it's just like, can someone please give him a gift certificate for Christmas on how not to get doxxed, on how not to expose so much of your life to them? Like, especially what's happening these days with people, like what just happened to that girl from what is it? What just happened to that girl from, let me not even put that energy out there. Just people, just be safe this holiday season. Just be safe this holiday season. The pandemic changed a lot of things. If you guys have been in LA, New York, or a lot of places, things are topsy-turvy. Just stay safe, right? Listen. So hold on. So there's a thing where so Simon posted his new house, right? And somebody said, now the FBI will be under you with scrutiny. Hope you pay your taxes and business is legit. Y'all are vicious on Instagram. I don't even read my Instagram comments unless they're nice, right? Check Real Housewives history. You're on the radar now, which is true, but that's not just even with Simon. That's with anybody. If you are even an inch not legit, stay off of Real Housewives, right? Somebody said my exact thoughts. Simon, the billionaire, had time to jump in his Instagram comments. Had time to jump in his Instagram comments because you know he ain't doing nothing but trading forex. And he said, "Let me guess, you have the same energy for every successful black person." LOL. No, she doesn't, because nobody's in Will Smith's comments. Nobody's in Idris Elba's comments. Nobody's in Terrence Howard's comments. Well, they might be in Terrence Howard's. Nobody is in like. Nobody's in Samuel L. Jackson's or Denzel Washington's comments. So no, nobody is in Taraji P. Henson's comments. Nobody is in what's her name's comments. So no, like no. Anyway, right? So somebody said, stay prayed up. So then she said, stop letting everyone in your personal space. Entertainment is entertainment, but personal space is a call to privacy. Yo, you cannot complain about people being in your personal space and you post everything on Instagram. Seriously, how much do y'all know about my life? Y'all see this? This is the most y'all know. This is to y'all. This is my best friend, Thermi. Thermi is my best friend, and that's the way it's going to stay, right? Anyway, hold on. Listen, oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Christina, and thank you, Paula, for the Cashaps. I appreciate it. Christina said she loves my lives. Thank you. And Paula Nichols said, I love your imitation of Simon. Thank you so much, guys, right? Anyway, so then Simon said, I'm not you. Y'all, you can't make this up. Hold on. Listen. Oh. This guy is gross. So then Jet444 said, you do love showing off your wealth. All your stunting is not necessary. We love you. Stop provoking jealousy. Simon, Grandpop said, provoke or trigger, I'm here for it. Turns me on either way. Y'all stop sending me yucky stuff. Ew. Why y'all do that? And you know what? My BFF just sent this to me and was probably snickering when she sent this because she was waiting for me to get to the bottom. Ew. Turns me on either way. Thermi, you hear that mess? Ew. Let me cover your ears. Let me cover Thermi's ears. Hold on. Cover your ears, Thermi. You don't need to hear that mess. Ew. Oh my God. Thermi is disgusted. Anyway, just disgusted. Oh my God. Ew. Like, oh my God. This is the same man that thought he was like being romantic and playful. I'm gonna put a baby in you. You know, that's like literally, oh, he's that person that when somebody sits there, you know, you see it on TV and they're just like, just remember how much you're worth, just remember how much you're worth. And then if you're a thinking person, you're like, oh, he's worth nothing. Blech, commence to throw up. Ew, turns me on either way. Ugh. Oh my God, please go find Porsha. But like Porsha said, Porsha don't even want some of that work. Because you saw when in the last episode when he was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Princess Mushu is trying to like get into this live. This puppy loves tangling herself in cords. Let me just move this cord real quick. Princess Mushu is on the hunt. She came over, right? Anyway, exactly. So y'all saw, right? When he was like, I want you to do me a favor, right? And she was like, what? No, my thighs hurt. She literally said, not tonight, talking about her thighs hurt. Girl, from what? Running? From crouching low? Because you know he ain't put work into those thighs. So what did she say? She was like in a squat position underneath the couch trying to hide from him. She was like against the wall in the closet trying to like, she had both legs up in the bathroom stall. So when he looked underneath, he ain't see her. Porsha, you ready? You ready to get this work? I'm gonna put a baby in you. And she's in the closet with both legs like pressed up, right? That's why her thighs hurt. She was like hiding her feet. So he couldn't find her, literally climbing up the closet walls, just staying there like Spider-Man, like, oh, please, I don't know. That's why her thighs hurt. That's why her thighs hurt. That's why her thighs hurt, because you can't convince me. But listen, I got a few other things to go on, and then I'll let the call leak. There's so many things I wanted to go over, but it's already been an hour and 17 minutes. Listen, there's so many things I wanted to go over. Come here. Come here. Hold on. She wants to say hi. Let me let you guys say hi to her, and then she'll be on her way. Everyone say hi to Princess Mushu. Say hi. She is formerly Princess Meatball, but she's been renamed to Princess Mushu. Say hi. She's a golden doodle. She still has her puppy here. You guys haven't seen it. I'm gonna show it to you. I've been letting this grow out because I'm gonna braid this back into a Fallon braid on top and put like gold clips in it. That's right. They gonna know this is a black doll. Look at this. I even got the only golden doodle with Yaki hair. She got yak. She got a number 27 Yaki dog. That's my dog with the Yaki hair. Yes, Princess Yushu. Yes. So anyway, Princess Mushu just had to be in here. So anyway, listen, she gonna know. Everybody in the block gonna know it's a black dog. She gonna have her hair cornrow with little gold things in it, and her Yaki number 27 is gonna be on point. So here we go. Listen. So Simon said, the year 2021 must never be forgotten. It is a year combined faith with intention. That's action. As it pertains to my personal... Oh, she don't like this voice. Hold on, let me put her down. I'm scaring her. As it pertains to my personal life, I took ownership of the poor choices I made in life. I own my successes as well as my failures in life. No one to blame, I promise. Yo, let me put her down. I'm scaring her. I know. You and Porsha are trying to run and go hide in the closet. But anyway, again, he's literally stealing what Fallon just said in her last live. If you haven't seen my interview with Fallon, go check it out. This is literally what Fallon said word for word in my interview. God, can he stop copying people, right? No one to blame, I promise. Yeah, you're the one to blame. You're the one to blame. What you mean no one to blame? Anyway, right? One thing, however, that I do keep is the sheer will to overcome life's adversities. You're the adversity. I took my self-care to a whole different level. And now we are in December and can't think of a time I was more happy. That's a lie. You've been being clowned all up and down the internet, and your fiance is getting dragged. How could you be the most happy? Literally. And we all know that Forex isn't amounting to anything, so whatever. I'm with my soulmate. I believe that. They are two super toxic people that deserve each other. You are helping, encouraging her to rip apart her family for your own ego, and Portia's doing it because her own ego. I just don't understand how it was so, anyway, whatever, right? I'm starting a new life chapter, a new home, and the car is a reminder that whatever I put my mind to, only God can stop me. And listen, cut to God being like, now, how do I get into this? Boy, if you don't keep me out of listen. So today, my collection of cars that were in storage while closing on our new home, because he gotta let us know, right? Are now reunited with me. Welcome home, babies. Your new mommy is in sight waiting on y'all. Okay, let's drop the calling link. All right? Because you know what? When people make it too easy to drag them, I don't know. I can't. I don't know. It's just, ugh. Welcome home to your new mommy. God, he's so disgusting. And you know the funny thing is, he's talking about his cars and his home. You know why? Because he ain't got shit else. He ain't got businesses. He ain't got this. He ain't got that. And that's cool. That's cool. It's cool. Again, you ain't got a lie to kick it. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. All right. I just dropped the call link. Anybody want to call in? Right. I just got now all that for what? What was that all to say? So you finally got a home. You've been homeless, right? You finally got a home. Whoop-de-doo. Your cars are reunited with your new mommy. The fact with your new, and let me tell you how sick it is also. Welcome home, my babies. Your cars are reunited with your new mommy. Like, listen, your impression of Mr. Yori's about. Thank you, Gabrielle. I appreciate that. It's just creepy on so many levels. And I know y'all like, Tisa, stop, but it is. Listen, I'm a big study of human psychology and the level of pathos in that. It's funny, but it's also sick. Welcome home, my babies. They're inanimate up to your new mommy, so you're still trying to invoke jealousy through Fallon. I know y'all think I'd be stumbling for Fallon. I don't. Listen, Fallon's always been nice and respectful for me, and she's done a lot. She's come and she's given me interviews. But do I have a personal relationship with Fallon? No. I think she's nice. I think she's gorgeous. I think she's beautiful. I'm eternally grateful for her giving me the opportunity to interview her. Of course. But you can take out Fallon's name and say Mary Jane. The fact that you're trying to evoke jealousy in your ex by saying your new mommy, at the same time letting us know that mommy is a revolving door. You put that in your post. You said that to Dennis. Oh, I got somebody on tap to move people out. And the fact that Porsha is either too dense or she don't care to read that shit and not get offended and be like, are you going to fix that? What you mean, welcome home to your new mommy? What sense does that make? It's just like, it's just, prosperity, what's up? What's going on? Let me drop the link in. What's going on? What do you think of everything that's going on? What do you think about Dennis? If the rumors are true about him trying to establish a form of custody, what do you think about that?
He's doing what a good father does. I'm not understanding this child. Just last week, he was the greatest father in the world.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't pay child support, which you never went and filed for because there was no reason to until you got with Simon and he made you or told you to go file for some child support to keep Dennis at bay. That's the only reason. We just saw Dennis drop $500 in a toy store for his child. Debbie dads don't do things like that.
Listen, but that's the thing about words have power. Porsha never said that Dennis don't give money to Pilar, doesn't that? No, she said he doesn't even pay child support. You didn't go
Exactly.
for a court order on child support. And honestly, let's be real. Dennis definitely takes good care of Pilar, takes for daycare. Anything else,
Exactly.
isn't your man worth a couple 100,000? I mean, couple hundred, well, I said it right, couple 100,000, but a couple of 100 million. I mean, that's what you said. So I don't know. It's weird. I will, before we bring in, hey, Betty, before we bring you on, I want to say thank you so much to, let me read out the new Tattle Tells members. We have Monique King, WR, R for Beauty, Chel Bay, Christopher, Renisha, Heather White, Mrs. AWOL, and Wicca Wednesday, Good Juju, and Cassandra Herdon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Also, we have LaShauna. Welcome, LaShauna. Oh, and also Christy Two Boys. Also, Christy Two Boys. Also, next go up, we have Betty. Betty, what's going on? What's your thing about this? Hey,
Hey,
Cassandra.
Tisa.
Hey,
Hi,
Betty.
chat. Hey, everyone.
Hi.
It's been a while since I should catch her live. I'm kind of happy to be here. But yeah, I'm actually a little bit shocked because I never thought that I would like Dennis so much. This is like a plot twist if I've ever seen one, honestly. I think he is doing the right thing. I agree with Prosperity. I feel like even though there might be some of this that could be petty or, I hope that it's not, for petty reasons. Because if we look at this like as adults and in a mature way, any father would be, he would be feeling a way about what's going on. You have this man around my daughter, they're traveling all the time. It is the
You
right
tried to
thing to
fight my
do.
mother. You got
Yeah,
into it with my mother. That's another thing. It's like, how you're mentally unstable as far as I care.
right. If I mean, it's if it's in good spirits and if it is in the spirit of doing the right thing for his daughter, I'm totally for it because I do feel like he does need to step in and just establish some boundaries.
Exactly. And that's all it is, right? Establishing boundaries. I want to give a shout out to Square Biz. Thank you so much for the super chat. But I agree with you. That's what it is. It's literally establishing boundaries. But for whatever reason, Portia is really weird. Not weird. She's really worried about establishing those boundaries because um Dennis is a businessman and he's a hustler and he goes after what he wants with laser like precision. If anybody's ever dated somebody like that, you know what it is. Let's also keep in mind that Dennis has been taking notes on Portia and all her antics for the longest. For the longest. He's been taking notes of all her antics, right? For the longest. And again, the things that I could actually really tell you about Portia that kind of has nothing to do with Dennis or Simon. I don't need to get into that. But if somebody was taking notes on Portia, they would have something to say. And don't forget when it comes to establishing boundaries, right? Portia does not have any boundaries. Again, don't take this the wrong way to anyone. I'm not slut shading anyone, but someone that literally sleeps with the entertainment for a bachelorette party in a house on a work trip where you are surrounded by women you know don't like you doesn't have any boundaries.
Oh
Again,
my god,
this
Tisa! Thank you for
yes.
reminding me about that. Okay, I just woke up after that, girl. I feel like Dennis was really embarrassed by that. He might not have said anything publicly, but I honestly feel like he was very much embarrassed by that. And even though him and Portia have like this situationship, it's not, there's nothing like, it's a situationship. I think they were still messing with each other for sure. I do feel like Dennis does have feelings for Portia. He does like her. They're kind of like the same person, in my opinion. But I think Portia went too far with embarrassing like that on TV. And I do feel like Portia didn't care about him in that moment because she's felt like he's embarrassed her,
Yes.
in Atlanta and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I think Dennis is very much embarrassed right now, and this is probably also like fueling his attitude right now, which is kind of like, girl, I do not even care about you no more. I'm just done with you, and all I care about is my daughter right now.
Completely agree with you, Betty. I will say, aka Sawar Peach, what's up, mama? Made a good point, saying Dennis is a businessman. My husband is a business owner with 300 employees, and he doesn't have time to sit on the IG. Let me tell y'all something. I'm not even a business person. And now since I started the YouTube and started taking it seriously, I don't even have time to sit on IG. I really don't. Now, I got time to research, but as far, it literally even stresses me out. Like, oh my God, I got to reply to these comments. I got to say this. I got to say that, because it's like, I love talking to you guys, but you guys know how it is when you truly get busy and you truly have stuff to do. Those are the times where people don't see you on social media quite as much. Everybody goes through those times. The only person that doesn't is Simon Gabodia. Simon always got time. And Simon's day trading.
Girl, he wake up early in the morning to sell oil. You don't know. He do that between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. He's selling oil all day.
He's selling oil. Now, who made a good point about listen, if Simon is so rich, why isn't he doing something for the ATL or Nigerian community, like the area he came from? JM, that's a good question. I would say, if Simon's so rich, why hasn't he renovated his mom's house in Nigeria? And I'm being serious. Now, don't get me wrong. You first make it come up. You buy yourself some nice stuff. You have fun. You might even buy yourself a house and a car. Fine. But at what point do you go back to the woman that gave you life and actually enrich her life? That's all I'm saying, right? So, and listen, her struggle as a single mom is ridiculous. You are right.
That's my biggest thing. How are you a single parent? You act like you are out here working a 9-to-5 job and you just can't pay for daycare. The father's not helping you buy diapers or formula or anything, when we all know that's not the truth. So for you to use that for your stance to go against Dennis is ridiculous, and it's slander, and it ain't right. Because there's no way in hell you can say that man is not a good father and he's not there. If that's the case, he's a single father when he has Pilar.
Exactly.
If you want to go with the single thing.
Yeah, that's true. And also, Monique King has a big point. Porsha randomly quitting multiple jobs is another reason for the court to favor Dennis. Now, I wanted to actually welcome Good Sis and Iffy. I'm going to invite you guys up to talk. Well, you guys are already on, but I want to invite you guys to talk. But before we do that, right, there was one thing I actually wanted to bring up, and actually Just Jai, thank you so much for the super chat. There's one thing that I actually wanted to bring up, and that is about the fact that remember when Simon made that post a long time ago about Fallon? We thought it was about Fallon's oh, is there an echo? Hold on, let me mute people. There's an echo. Okay. We thought, hey Mushu, we thought that Simon was attacking one of Fallon's co-parents, right? Where he said, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, a parent is a person who brings up and cares for another. We see why now Porsha's posting definitions, because Simon loves definitions, right? However, being a parent does not necessarily mean that you're biologically passed your genetics to a child. A parent can take care of different forms, blah, 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 blah. Okay. He actually said something that actually sheds light on this. He said, in order to hold the moral high ground on parenting, you must demonstrate your consistent and commitment to care and upbringing of your child. You must financially provide for them. No excuse is acceptable. If you're being derailed by a co-parent, the courts are on your side to ensure your rights as a parent are preserved. And also make sure in the eyes of the law, you are still considered a parent rather than a sperm donor. Even right there, again, hey, Justy, even right then, we weren't sure of who he was talking about. He was literally talking about Dennis and basically telling Dennis, because this was 17 weeks ago, which is right around the time that this was filming. This is basically telling Dennis that if he doesn't like it, go to the courts and get your parental responsibilities established. Again, he was mocking Dennis, and he was coming to me reading this. I see it as him mocking Dennis and coming in between the co-parenting relationship that Dennis and Porsha have long enjoyed, even by her own admission. Just last week on Access Hollywood, she was telling me how great a co-parent relationship. Remember, who brought it up to me? One of the guys in the comments actually brought it up to me that, remember even season 13 reunion where he asked Kenya, if she was jealous of Porsha's co-parenting relationship, and does she need to talk to Porsha to get tips about co-parenting because Dennis is such a good goddamn co-parent. So what happened besides Simon Gabodia coming on the scene? Now I want to invite Iffy and Good Sis, Iffy, and then Just D. Why don't you guys take a minute to talk? What's going on, guys? Hey, Good Sis, how are you doing? Good sis? Okay, she's gone. Hey, Iffy. Iffy, you have anything you want to drop in? Can you guys hear Iffy? I can't. Iffy? Iffy. Okay, Just D, do you want to chime in? Where's
Hey,
everybody?
Tisa, can you hear me?
I can hear you, D. What's going on?
Hey. So, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Mama? How's your YouTube
Good.
going?
I'm doing great. Yes. Building building up my videos and everything I'm editing. But girl, yeah, so I checked out this episode. I did a whole I did a whole review myself. I just haven't had a chance to record it. And there were so many parts to episode 4 that I was just like, this is an entire circus. Girl, tell me why Portia's Aunt Darlene, child, the way did you remember the part where she asked Storm for a hug and she fell
Yes.
out?
Yes,
Girl,
yes, yes.
I started dying and laughing. I know she didn't even hug Storm. She literally tapped her on the arms and fell out and got slain right in the spirit. And why Aunt Liz and Lauren V, they was cracking up. I said, boy, she is TV gold. But Mr. Lyman Nobody, ma'am, why his face throughout the whole episode? I'm like, he he looked like somebody's grandfather ready to go to sleep throughout the whole episode. And the only time I saw him laugh was when Storm was trying to fight and yell with Londi. And I'm just like, sir, you, I don't, I'm sorry. Dennis is the star of the show. Mr. Nobody,
Yes.
you just there.
Yes. Listen. So now somebody said, I don't want to use her name, said, I don't know why Portia's tripping. She's acting as if Dennis is broke. He has NFL money in his hands in different companies. I said he better get some type of custody in case they try to move out of the country. That's enough. So good point too. That's one of the things that I wanted to bring up. Porsha and Simon keep bragging about this Costa Rica house, right? Now they claim to have a residence in Atlanta. I don't know if they bought that house. Who cares if they did? Simon finally has a house in America. Great. Now he needs to get a couple more, right? But let's see if he has all the cars he says he does, right? But at the end of the day, the way you're moving all this stuff, and again, I would feel the same way. Portia's tripping out because Dennis bought somebody to dinner, but you literally getting engaged to somebody you know less than a month and got my daughter calling them daddy. If you don't get the hell out
Right.
of here. Now I will
And you taking them across the country, that's a lot. That's a lot for a child to be going through in
that's
such a short
Right.
period of
whole lot.
time.
And she don't even know. And she like literally doesn't even know him. And you got your daughter on this man's lap. And then on top of that, because I'm gonna cover this in my video, Portia, why do you care about who Dennis got? Did you see her face in the confessional when they asked her how she would feel if Dennis brought a date? And her face got tight. She was like, I'm not that mature. It's obvious you still got feelings for him. It's not about controlling him through the road. You don't want to have nobody else, but it's cool for you to have this old man around both of y'all's daughter, because that's Dennis' daughter too, but
Yeah.
he can't bring a date. And you acting like you still in a relationship with him, but y'all supposed to be over. You claiming you over, but why you so pressed about who he dating?
Listen,
Listen,
again, Portia right now is fulfilling so many negative stereotypes about bitter baby mama syndrome. And I hate to say that because it's such a misogynist thing. And I hate when people say that. You know, I hate when people try to be like, oh, she won't let me see my kids. She won't let me do this. She won't let me do that. She be tripping whenever I bring someone around. But again, I do think the one thing is, yeah, Portia seems to be displaying all those traits and more. Listen,
Can
let's
you
get
can you
uh
hear me, teacher?
we can hear you.
Oh,
What's up?
finally. Hey, I'm good.
Oh, good.
Nice to finally catch alive.
Yes.
Um, it's been a while. So I've been listening to you when I'm working or doing anything, and it's it's always a joy to see you break down all of those things because you're really smart. Uh, so I would say um Portia, I feel bad for her because she's not she I don't think she really understands what she's doing. when I saw the scene with Dennis when he was when they went out to dinner, and I felt she began to enjoy. She's starting to enjoy the deceit.
Yes.
She has Simon on the side, who is according to her doting on her, and then she has what's his name,
Dennis.
Dennis on the side, who someone that her baby's father, that someone because his Pilar's father, she can pull his strings. So now she's enjoying the both worlds. She gets this from here and she gets that from that. So that's where that's what I see with Portia. And then I also think that, um, a couple of months back when I saw something about her traveling, she came back from Nigeria and then she and she traveled. And in my mind, I'm like, where's your daughter?
Yes.
In my mind, I'm like, where's your daughter? And it's you went to a foreign country and then you have this little girl and then you keep dropping her off at with different people. You're messing up her system.
Mm-hmm.
You're messing up her system. It's bad enough that she's not in a one family, both where she has both parents, but now you're messing up her system because today she's with grandma this, tomorrow she's with grandma Dan, next tomorrow she's with daddy, and then she probably is not seeing you. She's probably spending more time with you on FaceTime than it's necessary. And something spoke to me, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, Dennis should fight for custody. And when I saw that post, I was like, yeah, this guy is smart. Because Dennis, on every show he has, all through the show, Real Housewives of Atlanta here, he is always promoting his business, one business or the other. We saw him in Crew, we saw him in the hot dog factory. But with Simon, how do you have this kind of opportunity and you don't promote your business?
Uh,
I'm like, what the hell? I'm a businesswoman. If I have that kind of opportunity, girl, every time I'm there, I'm like, I'm gonna have my t-shirt on with every logo and everything. But Simon, no. So how are you making your money?
well, that's a funny thing about it, isn't it? If you again, we've all seen reality TV, right? So we know what the deal is. If
Right.
you are a businesswoman, right? What
Mm-hmm.
are you doing on reality TV besides promoting your business? Could it
Mm-hmm.
be like, because to me it doesn't even make sense that you're just doing it for like to see your face on TV. Like, yeah, that might be cool to walk in and be like, hey, and film a scene like, yes, I would like some coffee. But after that, you're like, I gotta go back and live my life. I do want to say two things that you bring up, right? Shannon L, thank you so much for the super chat, said a few weeks ago, one of Fallon's son's fathers said Simon made it hard for them to co-parent. I believe that. Also, D Best Love and Peace, thank you for the super chat. Also, I had an actual theory about why Porsha is keeping Dennis on the back burner. And just hear me out on this, right? This is just my theory, right? It hasn't been corroborated by anyone, but you guys are gonna be the first to hear it. Because listen to y'all, it popped in my head, especially you, Iffy. Everybody thinks that Porsha is keeping Dennis on the side burner because she don't want Dennis to be with anybody else. And to a certain point, I actually believe that that might be true, right? I'm just going to mute you really quick, Jojo, while I'm talking, so there's no playback, okay? But to a certain point, I believe that might be true. But I think the reason she's doing that is I don't think Portia's decided whether she wants Pilar to be an only child or not. And I think Porsha, because in an odd way, she is very traditional in the way that she has that guilt about being a single mom, Southern unmarried mother, this and that. I believe that if Portia had a child, she would want both children to have the same father. Dennis is Pilar's father. He is still young enough to have more children. I think she's keeping Dennis close to make sure Dennis don't get close to anybody else, and Pilar doesn't have any siblings outside of her. Because I don't know what it is. Portia just strikes me as that type of person that is not meant for blended families. You know, some people,
I
if it's
totally
like,
agree with you.
you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like some people can be like, yo, it's
Right.
all love. Like
Right.
your children, my children, they don't care. All they see is a little kid. And they're just like, yeah, come on. Other people, men and women, not a lot, But certain people, y'all know the type, can like be like, oh, those are your children, these are mine. Do you know what I'm saying? Porsha don't seem
Right.
like, as territorial and controlling as she is, unless the child's parent has passed away, I just don't see her having a co-parenting issue with Pilar's siblings.
For sure. And remember too, Porsha.
Also, could that be the reason Simon stayed away from Fallon's kids after he made them his stepkids? Like, is she also the type to tell him, "Oh, they are not married no more, so why are you keeping up with the kids? Them not your kids. All you need
You
is
know
your
what,
biological kids."
I think
She's
so.
like that person also.
Well,
let's maybe.
No, remember Porsha has an issue with how she was raised. Remember, that's like a thing. Even though she doesn't talk about it a lot, I think Porsha has some very deep wounds when it comes to her relationship with her father and how that situation went about when she was young and how she felt like her father left her to be with another family and all that. I think there's something really deep there when it comes to Porsha. And I feel like the way she navigates relationships, it has a lot to do with that experience that she went through when she was younger and what happened between her and her father and how she just, perceived that whole thing.
yeah, like she's projecting her abandonment issues. You can tell even with how she's trying to keep Dennis close, and Lauren calling him her mother-in-law. Like, y'all ain't done, clearly.
Now, in her mind, Dennis is like, but then again, maybe if Dennis wanted another child, right? If there's no, and it makes sense. If he wanted another child and there's no other woman around, and when I say no other woman, I mean romantically, right?
Right.
Portia's beautiful, and they obviously click in bed. Like neither of them ever fronted on that. So yeah, I think,
Tisa,
yeah.
did you notice how when on episode 3, when Dennis was at that dinner with her family, and they asked him if he had a girlfriend, and his face changed, he was like, "Oh, I don't have no girlfriend." Like, he got scared almost.
Yes.
It was,
yes.
you know what I'm saying? It's like he's dealing with somebody. He wants to keep them away from the family because even though they're not together, that's still your family, clearly, especially if Lauren's calling you her brother-in-law.
And everybody likes him, and don't nobody feel, I don't want to say they don't like Simon, but they definitely don't feel comfortable with them, right? And it doesn't look like things have changed. Listen,
Simon is coming off as a know-it-all on the show. I cringe every time he speaks, which is not a lot of times. I don't watch the show, I watch the playback, and every time I hear him, I'm like, BS, BS. Because
I feel like Jesus wept.
But
yeah, and I'm like, I'm Nigerian, I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at you from with side eyes, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? That whole crap about his father having 25 wives, that's a crock. It's a lie. His grandfather never had 25 wives, because it takes for you to have, Nigeria is not that, they're not that crazy, number one. And the only one person who had 25 wives it wasn't actually 25 wives. He had like 2 wives, and he was a musician, very popular. He died a couple of years afterwards from HIV, and but he had a harem of women. And that was very, very popular. From where he's coming from, his father, if for you to have 25 wives, you have to be exceedingly wealthy for you to be able to keep 25 wives. The ones, right, the ones who have two wives, they're either monarchs, kings,
Wait, hold
or
on really quick. Whose phone is, wait, hold on really quick, Iffy. Let me see something. It's not your phone. Whose phone is? I think, oh wait, hold on. Let me just mute. Jojo, I'm going to mute you really quick until we bring you up to talk, just so there's no playback. But go on, Iffy. What were you saying?
right, like I said, the ones who have like 2 wives were actually kings or very wealthy people, very wealthy men. They
To have
weren't. Yeah,
25 wives.
no, that's a crock. He was just lying. He was exaggerating. But at this point, most people whose parents have more than one wife, they try as much as possible, because it's very toxic. No matter how nice they try to play it out, those women fight a lot, and the kids always fight, and there's always rancor. It's very rare you find many wives, where a man who has many wives, and then he has and the kids are in peace. No, there's always something, and even when there's relative peace, there's always this thing. They're always trying to one up each other. So for him to say his grandfather had 25 wives, and we nobody knows your grandfather,
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, Simon, you're lying. And he keeps doing this thing that is because he knows that nobody's going, most people won't check. They will take whatever he says as fact. And
Mm.
because I read on his Instagram page or something, I went through my sister actually went through the comments, and we both had a good time laughing because the Nigerian women were like, talk for yourself, because there's no Nigerian woman that was going to sit back and watch her husband bring side chicks and say, hey, and talk to one side chick and say, let's try and make sure that the next side chick is not, he doesn't get another side chick. That's a lie. Those women will pay their brothers, their cousins, cook good meals for them to make sure that that side chick is well beaten, like seriously, physical beating, you know? And then you will never, yeah, they will pay people to have you manhandled. That's the reason why when they said Porsha, when she was in Nigeria, people were like, make sure that that man's wife that bought you a car is not watching you, yeah, she doesn't see you. Let me tell you a quick story. When I was in college in my final year, we had someone in my class was dating the deputy governor. And then we were in our final year, and the wife of the deputy governor sent people to beat the girl. She never graduated with us. She
What?
never graduated. Oh, she was so manhandled because they have military, they have everything at their disposal. It's not like here where she will go to jail. No, everybody knew what happened. She never graduated with us, and from what we heard, she never graduated. So you can imagine
It's
how,
like that
yeah,
girl. If you guys are
yeah.
on Twitter, I forget her name.
So
She was, I think, I want to say she was Jamaican, but maybe she wasn't. But she was like a really beautiful, I think she was like a rapper or something like that. She was messing around with the prime minister, and it was on one of the islands. She was messing around with the prime minister, and the wife found out about it, and they literally had her committed to a crazy institution where they drugged her out and beat her. Anyway, she lost her mind in that mental institution, and now she's on Twitter all the time, making like she's actually a really good rapper, right? But she's out of her mind. And it was all, and she doesn't even look like herself anymore, but it's all because she was messing with that guy. So
right,
sorry to go on. Yeah.
right. They will go that far, and because the laws are a little lax, especially if you're wealthy, it's nobody's gonna ask them. Nobody they don't get into trouble for taking such measures. But I say that to say because when he made that post, most Nigerian women were like, I don't know who that is, because that wouldn't have been my mother. Maybe in 50 years ago, but still at that time you wouldn't find women who will willingly without a fight. It's not possible. And from where he comes from, the women are crazy. They're like Detroit women. They will fight for the most little nonsense, crappiest reasons. They will fight. So for him to say that, and I'm like, no, Simon, they don't do that. They fight on the street because they fight women on the streets just for dating their men. They fight themselves and they do all of that. So it's not something that they will do. The
It was
Nigerian woman, they listen, let me tell you something about the Nigerian woman. She might be docile and not docile. She might be quiet, but she's assertive. She holds her home. And that's
It
the
was
reason
on
why
the
no
blogs
matter
before that
what,
that man's wife said something like sent a warning out to Porsha, like, girl, if you come back to
so
Nigeria,
so
you not making it, you not leaving. I
well
remember
not
that. It
right,
was a while
to
ago.
sorry to interrupt you guys, but I have to corroborate that. So I just didn't think it was the right time to bring it up. Numerous sources have said that one of the reasons why the first time Simon went to Nigeria, right? Portia was supposed to join him, but she was actually scared because that guy that had given her the bins, the businessman, his wife had said, "When I see you, it's on site." And she was scared to go. She
Yeah, the
actually,
lady was like, you better not come back to
yeah,
Nigeria. She said you can't come back to Nigeria.
and that's
Like,
why, but
I
no,
was
but
like,
here's the
Porsha?
thing. That's why if you look at, because that's the thing about Nigeria, if you're Nigeria, Nigerian, when you have money, like any place, right? Like America, when you got money, it's lovely, but there's so many beautiful things to go to see, to whatever. Porsha and Simon ain't go nowhere. She hid
Nowhere.
in the
Yeah.
hotel the whole time and went to one club, and it wasn't even the top clubs. It was just one club in and out for a photo thing, and then that's it. She walked up, she looked around, she didn't dance, she didn't stay that long, and then she rolled out. Again, she took it seriously. And listening to what you're saying, Iffy, I guess she should have taken that warning seriously.
Oh
Like they
yeah,
don't
she
say
should have
about
taken. Yeah, because it's no joke. They don't joke. You know, if your wife lets you cheat, when you cheat, if she pretends like she doesn't know for the good of the family, but when you begin to creep and and try to bring her in, then you get I know I've known families that the wife has poisoned the husband when we're growing up just because he was going. Yeah, and I'm not even joking about that. We know, we've heard stories about people who have done several things just because you can't keep it in your pants, and I've tried to take it. Man, you gotta go. So they don't
Well,
joke.
listen, we have a saying
Right.
like that in America. What is it?
Right.
Murder him, bury him, tell the neighbors he left.
Right. Right.
That's how
Right.
my grandmother got rid
So
of a man that couldn't get right and couldn't keep it in his pants. I've tried everything I can. Murder him, bury
mhm.
him, tell the neighbors he left. So
Right, and instead of her to take it, she would if she's not gonna leave, if she likes you enough to want to stay, then she will fight for you. But if she doesn't want to do that, she will do everything. She would leave. Nigerian woman, she will
yeah.
walk out and she won't even look back. So the other thing I was going to say, like you said, we rightly said, because I looked at those pictures from when she went to Nigeria, and I'm like, where's the glamour? You didn't even go to the nice places in Nigeria. You just the most I saw was in a hotel. It was like a common hotel. I'm like, no, there are better places you can go to in Nigeria, and he's not giving you that experience in his own country. In
That's
his own
crazy.
country, that was
That's
crazy.
crazy. And this is his homecoming. He's been there 4 times in 40 years. But again, I think like in the because if you know, I think in the very, very nice places of Nigeria, Dennis's money doesn't go. I'm sorry, Dennis. Even I'm putting her with Dennis. Simon's money doesn't go that far. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
fine to be in the bottle bar in Atlanta and buy a few bottles and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to Nigeria, we all know the nicer places, it's serious
It's
money.
really serious, yeah.
Like
You
super
have
serious.
houses like if you go to Banana, because I think I was listening to playback that you had, and someone, or was that you or Campfire, and someone was saying Simon has a house in Banana Island. I'm like, no, he doesn't. You can, yeah,
Simon
because
don't
to
own
buy,
one thing in
no,
Nigeria.
he
I know that
doesn't.
for a fact. Now people just making up saying he's no, I do want to say for GA, I want to say thank you for the super chat. GA loves lovely eyes. Ooh, look, I did it. Hooked on Finance work. GA lovely eyes. Thank you so much. Portia's hoping Dennis will be there to save her when things blow up with Simon. Miss Lady, thank you so much for the super chat. I very, very, very much appreciate that. Let me ask you something, Iffy, because you know you are right now our resident Nigerian expert, right?
With all.
Yes, you know I hate to put the weight of your answer for your people. No, I'm joking. So listen, I have a question though.
Right.
We've had callers call in before that were Nigerian, and they're like, "Listen, there's a million guys like Simon as far as the game he's running on Porsha. What
Mm-hmm.
do you think Simon's intentions are?" And again, I know it's your opinion. There's a Nigerian woman, they're immigrant customs. Simon did leave Nigeria when he was 17, hasn't gone back, but I do believe that like you keep some of the things from where you were raised. What do you and I do think you're 100% right that Simon does explore the fact of wait, who dropped out? Iffy? Not
No,
Iffy.
yeah.
No, there was somebody else. Sorry, listen. Call back in, Mama. I know you just disconnected. Call back in. You'll be the next to speak. I'm sorry for having you waiting that long. But Iffy, um, I do believe that he is exploiting the fact that Porsha does not know his culture. It's just like when I'm overseas and I'm like, no, 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 no. In America, it's a sign of respect to call somebody a dumb bitch, you know? And it's just like people in America be like, why are you playing, right? No, no, no,
Right.
no, 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 no. In America, it's how we speak to people. It's a term of endearment, you know? So, Jojo, hold on, I'll bring you on in 1 second. But what do you think is going on with Simon, his intentions to Porsha, and the type of game, for lack of a better word, that he's running on Porsha?
I've asked myself that question. I think he's just trying to get what he thinks he has. Like you rightly said, there's a million and one people who we have a term for it. They fake they try to fake it till they make it kind of
Mm,
people,
the
and
fluffing.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what he's trying to, because I can't even understand what he does. He's not even playing the game the right way, like most of the people who play those games would play. From what Fallon was saying, I was like, there's no Nigeria oil does not, you not one individual sets the price for oil, and the oil change prices don't go up and down in one day, and then the next day it changes. That's not how it works, you know. That's not how it works. So when she was saying what he does for a living, and in my mind I'm like, no, 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 that's not true. That's not, even if you own oil, you're looking, if you're into transportation of oil, what you're trying to do is to make sure that your vehicles are leaving, your tankers are moving the way they ought to move, and that nothing is happening. But it doesn't warrant you to wake up early in the morning and say you're checking the oil
Right.
prices like you would, like it was stocks. So I've tried to understand where he's coming from, and that's, for me, I'm usually not invested this much, but for this particular, probably because he's a Nigerian, and I'm gonna deviate a little bit. When they first came online on TV, Fallon and Simon, I said to myself, I said, there's something wrong with this picture. This picture is not right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Nigerian in America that is this rich in Atlanta, that I'm always in Atlanta, and we've not heard of him, you know. And then he came on my TV screen, and I was looking at him, and I'm like, this guy is not real. There's something wrong about him. Which,
Mm-hmm.
and every Nigerian, if you know what, if you know your salt, you know that, okay, there's something wrong with the picture he painted. And um we can't really say what his end game is. Only Simon knows what his end game is. But what I can say is, if he's not been in Nigeria since he was 17, he really doesn't have the ideals. He's not seen Nigeria grow from one level to the next level. He's not seen that. So he has the ideals of when he was 17, when he probably just ran away from poverty. He got the opportunity to come to America, and he only went back because his father died, and then he went back now.
Mm.
Those are very different eras. I promise you, those are very different eras. So
It's
him going back now,
4 decades.
right, him going back now must be a shocker for him, because it's not really what he knew when he left.
Yes.
Because if you go through there's no Nigerian, if you go through stuff, social media, you must all there's certain things that always tell that you've gone back home, or that you love your country, or you love where you come from, no matter how messed up it is. So for him, I can't really say. I think he's trying to come up. He probably invested his retirement, his 401ks, and that's what he's living off of. Because he's a CPA, or he must have committed a crime, because we can't say where his money comes from. Nobody knows. I can't get it. So I think he's just using Porsha to as a come up. Because if you left Fallon because she had an affair with Jalen, but you are with Porsha, who had a full blown sexual encounter on TV, national TV, you know, I couldn't understand that you could easily forgive the indiscretion of your wife, because that was secret, nobody knew. If you really cared for her, you could
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, that's my child, and all of that, and nobody would ever know. But we all saw Portia go from this girl to that man, and this is where you're going to. this is better than what you married, that you can't it's
Yeah.
something crazy. We don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't say it's the money because he's fronting like he has some money, but
Well,
whatever it is. Mm,
Porsche at that time thought he had money, and to AK Soar's point, in the last members, no, not last, but three members only lives before, if you guys listen to our archives, we had another woman who was from Nigeria, and she was actually from the town Simon was from. And she
mm-hmm.
actually said that basically he took her there to kind of use as bait to be invited into circles he normally
Into
couldn't. And this
circles.
woman
I
is
agree.
rich, she's famous, she's beautiful, she's very big in America, she has 6.4 million Instagram followers. So they were interested, like, oh, okay, bring her to the
Mm-hmm.
party. Mercy Talk, thank you so much for the super chat. I definitely appreciate you so much. And also, who is it? Angie Winston. Let me read this really quick before we get back to you, Iffy. Angie Winston, we say, the more I see how Porsha moves, it's the more I believe she threatened Dennis by saying she'll take PJ away if he brings another woman around. Again, I don't think that, but here's the thing, right? Right? Porsha doesn't want any outsiders around because even filming the show, she doesn't. She thinks she can control Dennis and Lauren and this and that. When you bring outsiders around on the show, it's you can't control what they're going to say. She can barely control in real life what Dennis and Lauren says, and that's what she's really mad about. But again, I don't think from what I've heard about Dennis that he's the type of man, and maybe they're going to war, that Porsha can make a threat like that and he would take it seriously. Do you know what I'm saying? Dennis loves his little girl too much. He's too involved. And even his personality, he's just not one to be threatened. So, you know what? But maybe, you know what, Angie, to your point, that might be what started the war. That she literally was like, if you bring a stranger around, which is ironic because we all know that him and Porsha and Simon had been messing around for way more than they said. But at that time, it's like, you have to be crazy. You got engaged and fell in love with a month, and you're telling me I can't bring a random girl around? You're out of your mind. Just out of your mind. But Iffy, I want to, well, really quick, stay on the line with us, Iffy. I had a few more questions for you guys. All you guys, actually. Let's bring up JoJo, Mercy, and Prosperity, and Mrs. Blue. So, JoJo, you go first, and we'll go to Mercy, Prosperity, and then Mrs. Blue. What would you guys like to say? Anyone? Bueller? JoJo, do you have anything to say? While we're waiting, Lily says you can have several luxury cars. What's up, Lily? But it doesn't mean you're rich. I'm not rich. And that is true. That's the funny thing, right? And I think this is what Iffy was actually touching on, what we're all touching on, right? We've all been, I mean, listen, some of us have been lucky enough to be born with silver spoons in our mouths and our feet never touched the ground. Other ones of us, we were born in the dirt and we fought our way up to a certain level, right? But anyone that has reached a certain level or been with a certain level understands that, and it's not even trying to front for the gram. Sometimes you can look to outward people like you are very, very prosperous, but you know the truth. And again, there's nothing wrong with being middle class, right? That's the dream. There's nothing wrong with having, that's not it. Our issue is when you're sitting there trying to front like you got everything and you're using that as an excuse to look down and punch down to other people. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to look down on me because you got more than me, then I want to see how much more do you have? Do you know what I'm saying? I think that is the point. Iffy, what do you think about Simon's propensity for, it seems like Fallon and his other exes were saying he had this weird propensity where he wanted the woman to be submissive, but he also wanted to use the woman. What do you think about that?
Well, that's his own personality. It's not. I think for me personally, I think that's and you can see him trying to control Porsha, but in in her spin-off show, by
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell her what to tell, how to engage with Mama Gina, you
Hmm.
know. And he's trying to, I was offended when he said something like that some other people are not, they're not family. You're not family. She's not your wife yet. You're just a random dude. You're as
No,
random as
literally.
Dennis is. You're not family. So I think, yeah, he's trying to control Porsha, and Porsha is more malleable than Fallon is.
Yes.
Fallon has a very, very silent, she's silently stubborn.
She's a Taurus.
She's set, yeah, she's set in her ways, not in a bad way. There's only so much that she can take.
You
But
know what?
Porsha, yeah, that,
No,
but for
no, go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Go on.
for Porsha is as long as you give her the things that she feels she wants, she'll go down to the grave with you if that's what you want, So Portia is easier to manipulate than Fallon is. So that makes it easy for him. But I think he's going to get tired of Portia because someone like Simon he might need you. He's going to find it more challenging for him to be able to bend a strong woman than for him to have a yes ma'am a yes sir kind of woman. So over time, 2 years down the road, I don't think they're gonna make it. If they ever get married, I don't think that's gonna because he's gonna get tired of her being docile, and he will go for the next best thing. And that's the reason why, in my opinion, why he's been cheating. It's either he gets a woman who is too strong and refuses to bend, and then he loses interest in the chase, or he gets a woman who is too submissive, and that's not interesting enough for him. So for Portia, I think she falls in that category, but because she's coming with star power, that makes her more interesting. And unfortunately for her, she's losing all of her star power because she's lost all of her businesses, all of her TV program, whatever she was doing. She's lost those ones. And now the show that is supposed to pivot them to up to stardom and all that is not doing too well, and she doesn't have a very positive image. So for that, I think he's over time, in a very few number of years, he's probably going to get exhausted, and because he might control her, but he doesn't want her to be docile to
You know what?
100% of the time.
I completely agree with you. The only thing I would differ is listen, if they get married, again, it's not going to be in my opinion, right? I wish them well, but I just don't see it lasting for years. I don't even see it lasting 1 year. I don't even see it actually going to marriage. But I can see that if Simon is willing to give her the wedding of her dreams, she'll do it just for fun. Um, but also, from what I've been hearing, and again, this is just has not been verified. This is just my speculating and things that people have been whispering in my ear. One of the holdups of even any of the weddings is Simon is very, very cheap, and Portia wants to splash out, right? Portia wants to
Hmm.
splash out. They just got this house. Simon's very cheap. Has a limited amount of money. And even with this house, I have to look into this because I've been hearing conflicting reports about buying, renting, how much it was, who owns what, this, that, and the third. But I will say that Simon is very, very cheap. And one of the reasons why he hasn't, the wedding has not even happened thus far, or even invites been sent out, because Portia doesn't have the budget to splash out the way she needs to, because she knows everybody's looking at her like, is this what you did this for? To be married at the Howard Johnson? You played yourself to be married at the Howard Johnson. So in her mind, she needs this lavish thing to prove to everyone that she was right to get the bag. Really quick.
Tisa, do you think Portia was trying to basically, like, the plan was like she was going to get Bravo to finance the wedding and do all of
Oh,
that?
without a doubt, without a doubt, without a doubt. Don't forget, and Mercy, we're going to have Mercy go next, but first let me read the super chat. But I just want to say one thing before Mercy talks. Latoya Woods, you say, hello, Tisa. I love your channel. Also, Portia needs to be careful. This is not going to end well for her whole family. It's just messy. Listen, I don't think Portia actually cares, because when you think about it, Portia knows that those sides of the family don't get along. Portia knows that. Portia knows the way Dennis and his mom is and what they were going to do. You guys are all forgetting to the fact of all this drama that's happening on the show. Portia was banking on it. Now, it got out of her control, but don't forget that they filmed Portia and Simon, even that Mother's Day thing when Simon was there and that Dennis paid for. cameras were there. They filmed for a month when they were just focusing on Porsha and Simon's relationship. From what I heard, production was like, we don't got nothing here. It's too boring. This isn't enough for a show. And that's when they decided to have the family retreat where Lauren tries to heal the family. And Bravo was like, all right, let's just go and see if we can get something from out of that. And then when they got that stuff, right? All these confessionals, or a lot of confessionals that you're seeing with Dennis and whatnot, and they're going in on Porsha, that was all filmed after they came back from the trip, right? And the fight had happened and everybody's in their feelings. And Bravo was like, ooh, this is reality gold. But to that point, that first month that they were filming, we haven't seen any of that. We didn't see the Mother's Day. We didn't see this. We didn't see, all we saw was a little glimpse of the birthday because they didn't have anything. Porsha brought her family out that don't like each other and don't get along. And she was hoping there would be friction because she was ready to sacrifice her family for ratings. I just don't think that Porsha thought her reputation would be dragged. I think she thought it was going to be another Real Housewives of Atlanta thing where she's looking like the good girl and everybody else is looking unreasonable. And lastly, I do want to also say that, well, Mercy, go ahead. You've been waiting for a while. Mercy, what's your weigh in on this?
Oh, hi, Tisa.
Hi, Mercy.
Hi. So my name is Mercy. I'm particularly interested in this because I'm African, and based on some of the narrative that Simon is trying to put out, like, Africans are in agreement with marrying two wives and stuff like that. I just wanted to say that that's a choice. Okay, because he's trying to put up this image and make people feel like, well, this promiscuous image, because probably he's been across a lot of women, and to me it's like trying to save himself, and then he's trying to hang it on the culture. But it's a choice thing. Not every African man is wants that. Not every African family is in agreement with that and stuff like that. And then to go to Porsha, I personally think that please, my kids are talking, so sorry about that.
No, it's okay. We love the kids on this channel. Tell them hi.
and then to go to Porsha, I personally think that Simon is using Porsha because Porsha is not a strong woman. I mean, strong upstairs intellectually. Porsha's not. Porsha is not the kind of woman that can hold Simon down intellectually. She is the girl that wants a particular lifestyle. And Simon knows that Porsha wants that lifestyle. And he's trying to push that to her so that she can use her fame and get him out there. Mm-hmm. And Simon is being very manipulating. Okay. No African man will sit by his fiancée and hear her talk about his ex-boyfriend's, his ex-fiance's possessions, and just sit there like it's not bothering him. No, Simon is playing the game. That's why he's putting up that face. African men don't deal like that. You're not gonna have some other person's property in your house and want to be with them. No, they don't do that. You have to give it back because they pride themselves in knowing that I can take care of you, I can provide for you, I can be the man and stuff like that. So Simon is just using Porsha, and you know the thing is Porsha will never get it, okay? Because she's like I think she was looking at Fallon from a distance, you know, when they met on the Real Housewives. She wanted her lifestyle. She wanted to be on the yacht. She wanted to be in a big house and stuff like that. And she naively inboxed Simon and made her way into his life. And to me, I just feel like this thing will not end well. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't feel like if Simon is getting married to Porsha at this point, it's just because of the pressure, you know, the media pressure. Everybody's now saying, oh, you don't have a date. You don't have a date for your wedding and stuff. And now they are on Instagram everywhere posting about wedding and stuff. They are just trying to tune in with the media and try to play the media. I don't feel like this guy, out of his heart of heart, will want to be with Porsha, because Porsha is more like, Porsha is 40, but her mind is like a 15-year-old person. Because I'm not trying to be shady, but you know, the way she speaks, the kind of things, you know, the way she talks, she's not mature. And let's say Simon has all these businesses. Let's say Simon has all these things going on. Porsha is not a woman to hold that man down with businesses like that. Porsha is more into showbiz. Porsha is more into jumping around, taking naked photos and stuff like that. But Simon is, if this is true, based on what Simon is saying, he's like rooted into these, high profile businesses and stuff like that, which I don't think that as a woman going into the man's life, being able to have an input, be able to have an impact in his life, I don't feel like Porsha can do it. So I just feel like at this point, it's a manipulative thing, and Porsha is not over Dennis. We clearly see that she's not over him. I don't know why Porsha will have a problem with Dennis having a date, whereas she just got engaged to a man she met in 3 weeks, and then have Dennis on the trip and wants to make the rules for Dennis and say Dennis cannot have, his own date on the trip. I don't know why, because I think that she is controlling. Okay. And then just to highlight on Simon again on the cultural thing, where Simon posted the picture about the tattoo thing, and Porsha wasn't really happy about it. And Porsha was like, oh, but sometimes I should be able to see whatever, because it came across like Porsha was trying to control his content, whatever he's going to post on social media. And Simon on the scene just acted like, well, okay, or blah, 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 blah. No, that's not Simon. Believe me, that's not Simon. African men don't operate like that. I'm telling you, I'm married to one for 10 years. They don't operate like that.
They don't, huh?
No, you don't control them. He's just trying to play with Porsha and have his way. This is what this man is doing, because he knows that Porsha is about the lifestyle. She will do anything to get that lifestyle. She's about the money.
Yeah.
And that's why he's flashing the dollar signs in front of her and manipulating her. I mean, who in their right senses, Tisha? What lady in their right mind? A lady who has something upstairs, who quit their job. How can Porsha quit her job at this nation? I mean, I understand maybe Real Housewife, she was trying to run away from her atrocities with Bolo and then Simon or whatever. But she quit her job from this nation. I bet you Simon talked her into this. Or talk of, I have the money now, you don't need this, blah, blah, blah. And when now Porsha quits her job and start relying on Simon to provide a lot of stuff for her, then it's going to be like, well, you do what I say. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to try to isolate her from her source of income. And then it's going to be, you do what I say at that point. But right now, Porsha is she's the type of person that I don't think anybody can talk to her right now and she'll listen. Like, I remember when she started with Dennis, and I think it was Candy on the Real Housewife. Candy was trying to tell her, hey, girl, you got to be careful. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Porsha was so mad. Oh, it's my business. Da, 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 da. And then they crashed.
You know, the funny thing is about that, you say that. It's funny thing. I had some insight tea on that. First of all, I want to say thank you to Monique Allen. Welcome to the Tattle Tells family. And also Latoya Woods. Thank you, Latoya. And also April, such a pretty, pretty mess. Thank you, April, such a pretty mess. Listen, and thank you, Latoya, again for the super chat. You know what's so funny? I have some tea on that. You are so right, maybe, about her not listening, because what happened is with that, my members only, I have heard me say this before, but let me say this for you guys. When Porsha, so here's the thing. When Dennis had those girls, and his whole body's tatted up with somebody's name, right? A funny thing is, Dennis likes women that are very headstrong too, right?
Yeah.
But Dennis has a lot of antics, and the headstrong women don't like his antics. But he doesn't like the easy ones. They're like, Dennis, I love you, because he wants a challenge, right? When Dennis and Porsha started talking, one of the production people tipped Porsha off that they were going to talk about Dennis's ex, right? Porsha went to Dennis and was like, yo, like, who did you mess with? Let me know so we can, like, be united front on camera and people don't catch me off guard. Candy had to talk with her and was like, yo, like, you need to be careful. Like you said, Porsha thought she was so confident because Dennis had told her everybody he was messing with and came clean. So that's why Porsha was like, oh yeah, I licked those tattoos. I don't care. Who doesn't have a past? And she was acting like she wasn't phased, right? However, the thing that phased Porsha the most, and this is one of the reasons why she got into that altercation in the alley, right? And one of the reasons she got so mad at Candy and probably made up those rape rumors, this is my opinion, right? Is because, but this part is fact, Dennis had only told her the names of the girls that he didn't care about.
Mm-hmm.
There was a few other people that Candy had tried to warn her about, right? That she didn't want to listen. And those were the girls Dennis didn't tell her about because those were the girls Dennis was still messing with. So I see what you're saying. People tried to warn Porsha on camera, and from what my sources are saying, maybe even off camera, and she didn't want to hear it.
She doesn't look like she listens. Like, look at Laura's confessionals and the other lady. I don't know, the other, her cousin. Lottie, yes.
Yes.
When you listen to what they say, you know the problem is Porsha. Porsha wants things her way. Porsha will go for anybody as long as she sees the dollar sign. That's the problem. And the only reason she felt that hard for Dennis in the beginning was because I'm thinking Dennis was probably one of the richest person she had ever dealt with at that time. So she was like, you know what? I got it. I have a rich man. She even said it. That's why I said Porsha is so, I don't know. She's not thinking. Like, she even said it on the show, like, oh, when I saw him, he had money. She was something in the sense of opening my legs or whatever. Like, you don't just
she counts with her eyes, but she counts with her eyes. So, because that's the thing about Porsha cautionary tale. Ladies, listen, get a man that spoils you, but also always have your own, right?
That's right.
But if you are going to be a gold digger, please do your research. Literally. If they say they're worth 300 million, please get a copy of Forbes 100 Richest People. Please go to the Atlanta Who's Who's. Please start like looking at property records. Listen, if you're going to be a gold digger, be a gold. It's like saying if you're going to be a prostitute, don't be a prostitute on the street. Be the president's prostitute. Aim high, do what you do well. And the fact that Porsha literally just like walked in and was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Dennis, in the beginning, was giving her a few Chanel bags. I think he gave her a Rolex watch, right? May have been fake, may have not. But at the end of the day, with Porsha, it's like that's what you liked about Dennis. Well, I don't know. But the whole point is with that, right? Dennis was showing, but Porsha didn't realize that Dennis was also trying to like get he was a businessman. He's like, oh, maybe I can get advertisement. I can do this. I can do that. So again, like she's 15 years old. You have to realize, and a lot of women these days, I was just talking to this with my girlfriend, right? Because she made an action point. A lot of these guys these days, the real thing is whether they're rappers or athletes or just trying to get on or anything that needs publicity, they look at women and now they're the new gold diggers because they see that women have these big social media followings and they get on with these girls just to get some of their audience. That's why
right.
They're marrying strippers these days because the strippers have these huge followings and they're trying to use it. Porsha needs to recognize game, you know.
Well, Porsha, I think last time I was talking to somebody, I said if truly Simon has like nightclubs or whatever, then Simon has dealt around these girls, you know, these stripper kind of girls, their money mindset kind of girls. Yes. And he knows that Porsha wants that, and he knows how to lure Porsha into this, and he's going to lure Porsha into it, and then, you know, get his fame, get his businesses out there. That's all he's in there for. I mean, what man will get with you in about 2 or 3 weeks? You know, he influences you to sign a deal for him to be on a reality show with you. And, you know, the mess going on with you having your daughter around a man you met in 3 weeks, sharing a bedroom with your daughter. But then she's on Instagram trying to call out Dennis for leaving her to be a single mom in quotes, whatever. Like, girl, you had a man you met in weeks with your daughter, and you're trying to call out Dennis. Like, how does that even work?
So really quick, I'm going to give a shout out to Sean. Thank you so much for the super chat. You said it'd be funny if Bravo picked up the bill for Fallon's wedding. They may be filming it right now. I wish Bravo was filming Fallon's wedding, but let's see. What's up, B says, yes, men are practicing hypergamy. I can't say that word. Hypergamy, her bigamy. Okay, whatever. Y'all know I'm dyslexic. Hypergamy. We'll say hypergamy, right? But they are practicing that, and women need to be vigilant because these men are out here moving funny, and they will use you for clout, they will use you for likes, they will use you just to even get tagged in, right? And the funny thing is, we see what's going on with Nene, right? Nene appears to be happy. Everybody says that her guy, listen, no one's perfect, but everyone I've talked to, and I've talked to a bunch of people, said that her guy is super respectful. He's a nice guy. And Nene says he treats her like a queen. Now listen, does he have ulterior motives? I don't know. But anytime you're famous, but do you see how with Nene dating this guy, even though he's separated, people aren't giving her the flack that Porsha is. Why? Because at the very least, people can be like, okay, they've been separated for a year. The wife's not complaining. They were actually separated. And is it the best idea? I don't know, but fine. That's what Porsha wanted to do with Simon. She wanted the heat to come off. She wanted their divorce to be final. And then she wanted the slow walk. Oh, we were friends and now we're lovers and now we're in love. But Simon jumped the gun, like you said, because he was like, I'm the boss and I'll do what I want, you know? It's an interesting dynamic. It's an interesting dynamic how Simon is, I don't know. It's weird when they tell you, like, and that's the thing about, like, with women. It doesn't happen so much with men because I think men are socialized that if a woman comes in and disrupts too much, you find a way to get her out. You know, like even your friends will be like, she needs to get out of here. There's too much being disrupted. But women are raised at love at all costs. Simon is used to girls like Porsha because even that other girl, Jessica Harris, that he was buying drugs for, and the girl that works at the stripper part time, she literally is Porsha without the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? No, she is. She's pretty. She's charismatic. She seems a little loopy, but she ain't that loopy because she gamed Simon out of money. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like she is the Porsha without Porsha having the Nikki that got Porsha on. In the book, she says this girl Nikki got her the Real Housewives. She's Porsha without a Nikki watching her back and helping her and getting her new opportunity, right? Okay, fine. So that's what it is. But Simon's like you said, a good point. Mercy, Simon is used to girl like Porsha, you know, and Porsha, I don't think she's used to guys like Simon. Because again, for her to be impressed with Dennis's money, and now she's saying Dennis is broke. At that time, Dennis was the one of the most successful men you've been that was taking you seriously, or at least trying to take you seriously. So
I don't believe Dennis is broke. I just think Porsha is just trying to get, I just think at this point her plans are probably failing because, for them to have agreed to bring this on reality show, they probably thought it was going to be some buzz, like people were going to like it or stuff. But now they're having a backlash. And I think Porsha going on Tamron Hall and saying they don't have a date or whatever, I think there's some trouble going on behind the scenes. Porsha was trying to keep Dennis on the side just in case something happens. But unfortunately, Dennis is not having it. And now she's going on the rant of Dennis is broke, Dennis is that. Whereas she had confessed that Dennis had money. I think it's just a bitter thing that she's not over her, her baby's father. She wants him to be on the side. I don't know how she think that is okay. Because there are certain things that Porsha does to me. I'm just like, is she even reasoning? Like, why would you even think this is possible?
Yeah. No, so go on. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that, the thing about Dennis, trying to keep Dennis within reach. I think that's what she's trying to do, and trying to dictate on Dennis, holding Dennis's clothing and stuff like that. To me, the way she come off is just like, Porsha, a normal reasoning woman would be like, why is she even thinking like that? I just feel like, I'm not sure what is going on with Porsha, but I think Porsha needs some maybe some foundational things that were not really in place. I don't know, because she reasons like a child. I'm telling you, like as a grown woman watching Porsha, you don't see that substance. You don't see that, that solid reasoning in her. She's all about, jumping around, crackling like a little child. I think she needs to really sit down and be like, hey, I'm 40. I'm not even 20 or 30 anymore. I'm 40. I need to sit down and figure out my life and stop running after all this. I bet you, let me tell you, I bet you, as an African, Porsha will not get away with anything from Simon if Simon doesn't let her. I'm telling you, she will not. You know how they say, oh, she's probably a gold digger, she's going for the gold, in quotes. She will not get anything if Simon doesn't, because Simon is sitting on that television and everybody's watching him and say, oh, he's just quiet. No, he's calculating. Porsha will not get a dime from that man if he doesn't let her. And the only dimes Porsha will get is in exchange for the fame, because he's not going to let Porsha get away with anything. Remember the scene where he told Dennis, he was like, I keep a moving company on speed dial. That's just to tell you.
If somebody said that I was dating on national TV, I'd be like, well, guess what? I'm pressing this eject button first. People tell you stuff and you're like, actually, no. He could have sat across from me and been like, in my culture, a side chick, and I'd have been like, oh. Literally sipping my coffee, like, well, I'll take the check. Literally, like, well, this isn't going to work. In my head, I would be planning an exit right then and there, like, when do I want to leave? Before or after vacation? When people tell you stuff like that, you have no choice but to not take them seriously. Like, oh, okay, so this is a waste of my time. And after he said that to Dennis, I would have been like, yeah, this is a wrap. But Porsha,
I think he said that to Dennis because Dennis was I think Dennis gives this tease, like, I could still fuck Porsha, right? I feel like that's the tease he comes around with. Like, if I want to, I could phone your girl, right? And I think that's why he said that. That's why Simon was like, well, she gonna get kicked the F out as soon as she do. As soon as I found out, she going right back to your house.
But I agree with you. I did think he was pulling like a macho thing. But it was funny to me that Dennis was literally slowly saying, I can still get her if I want it, right? And instead of Simon finding a way to deal with Dennis directly, to be like, oh, no, you can't, and don't disrespect me or my girl, because he could have like got him right back with the shade. Instead, he chose to be like, yeah, well, she gonna be right back at your house, which to Iffy and Mercy's point, right? Porsha's always going to be the one to bear the brunt of it. You're going to get mad at Porsha. You're going to put Porsha out. You're going to do this. It just, if I was Porsha, I was like, yeah, this doesn't bode well. I'm always going to be the person that suffers if you feel disrespected, if you feel this, because you don't know how to handle it. You couldn't think of any way to handle Dennis's shade as a man besides throwing me under the bus. That's like another woman trying to get slick with you about your man. You're going to find a way to check her while still protecting your relationship. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that Simon couldn't do that, it's just like, yeah, to me, I'm like, that's weak. Like, you couldn't think of anything to say back except throw me under the bus? All right.
Yeah,
all right.
because someone is not there for, how you see a woman and you're like, oh, I love her, I'm going to keep her, whatever. Because Simon feels it comes to him easily to throw her under the bus because for him, it's a business thing, throw her under the bus or not. People already know him to an extent, and that's what he's in there for. I mean, she went to Nigeria, and I saw her, her putting on these African outfits. And to Porsha, oh my God, it's a big deal. She's crackling, whatever. Come on, like anybody can buy those from Amazon and put them on. Like, why would to her, she feels like, oh, I already gone there. She can ask Tamar Braxton. Tamar will tell her that. You know how he went down with Tamar Braxton? That guy took Tamar to Nigeria, he did more than Simon is doing for Porsha. Yes, he did more than that. So, and Porsha is out here trying to make it seem like, oh, she already got this man. Or I'm telling what I'm saying is, in all of this, to summarize all of this is, Simon is playing Porsha, and Porsha will only get away with the amount of money that Simon wants her to get away. And I'll bet you Simon goes behind and talk with his homeboys and be like, hey, man, this thing, I'm doing this for this. They know what they're doing, but when they come in front of Porsha, they will never tell Porsha.
Oh,
they will never tell Porsha. They will not tell Porsha.
Let me interject real quick, Tisa and Messi. So, Tisa, you asked me what Simon would get out of it. And now I hear Mercy talking, and it just jumped into my mind. I'm like, you know what?
Hmm.
Simon is trying to live out the rest of his life in his fantasy. He's worked all his life. He worked as a CPA probably. He's done all of these things. He doesn't need to take care of his kids. The mothers are taking care of them. The older ones are grown. He doesn't need to have any more kids. He's never taken care of his family from everything that they've said, because that's not how we take care of our families back home. But what the only thing that he's left to do now is just to have as much fun as he can. That's the reason why he's hitting the club so hard, like he's never been to one. And that's the reason why he won't stop smoking and drinking. He's just living out the rest of his life. He's living his fantasy. How I see him. Because for you to be with, for him, it's like I'm with this very beautiful girl. Portia is really, really beautiful. I'm with
Hmm.
this very pretty girl, and I'm on TV, being streamed worldwide, as to as many countries as possible. How? What else can he? I mean, it doesn't get better for a little country boy that came from one small place and didn't know he would ever get to that point in his life.
You know
So
what?
for him, yeah, he's living up the best of his life, and he's going to milk it for as long as, even if Portia is not willing to get married, he will get married just for the fun of it, and he will get divorced and see if he can get the next celebrity. And if he
That's
can't get
right.
somebody else, if he can't get somebody else, he will make sure he holds on to Portia, and he holds on to her celebrity status for as long as he can.
So
That's what I
listen,
think.
you know what? When you say it like that, that makes a lot of sense. So you're basically saying Portia is for playtime, right?
You're
He
right.
still will try to even get somebody more young and more beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because again, that's the reason why guys in my mind that are old like young women. It's not the beauty because again, you can find somebody 60 beautiful. You can find somebody 40 beautiful. It's not about the beauty. It's about the dumbness. Because when you're dating a 40-year-old or a 6-year-old, no matter how beautiful they are, yeah, you might start off the relationship playing, but eventually they're gonna be like, okay, so like what's going on? Like where the kids going to school? Are we setting up college funds? Like life
Right.
gets more serious because it's not enough just to be going to the club every night and getting drunk and making up. You're like, what are we doing? Um, I do think again, Portia, like you said, Portia might be for playtime. He'll hold on to her if he can't get anything better, right? But also to the point of you're right, you're from like a small town, you're doing this, you're a CPA, all the kids have their mothers like, doing their part. And now you can be there with your 40-year-old fiance, which again,
Mm-hmm.
Portia is young. She's only 40 years old. I don't mean to make it seem like she's like, like 90 years old, right? But again, you're sitting there in a club, her butt's in your face, thrown in a circle, and everybody's just like, hey, you feel like you're an extra and you got served. You're finally like living your fantasy. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
Belly, the scene where like Nas and them are walking in, like, how do you want me? Y'all remember that scene from Belly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's just like, he's living out his fantasy of something that he never thought he'd be
He
at.
could have. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But the funny thing is, you're right about one thing. Fallon was a part of living out his fantasy. Woman completely, they're all out of his league, but Fallon was gorgeous woman, super big social media following. She looks like a Barbie, face, body, everything. And you're right, he was holding on to her. But as soon as he thought he found something better to achieve his dream even more, he traded her in for Portia. And again, I agree with you. The same thing's going to happen to Portia because he's going to find somebody that's going to even be better suited. Because what
Right.
if Portia's like, okay, all these things you've promise me, where are the houses, where are this, where are that? Portia has expensive taste and she got a daughter. Maybe he'll trade her in for someone that's just like a 25-year-old that's fine with a few Fendi outfits and they don't have a daughter to actually look after and whatever. So again, he's living.
Yeah, I
Very
think
good point. Very
Fallon
good
got
point.
too serious for him. And unlike Porsha is never going to get to that point that Fallon. I think Fallon got too serious. She wanted to
She's
settle
a
down.
family girl. No,
Yeah,
she's
she's
a
a
family
family girl.
girl.
Yeah.
She
So, but
even
unlike
made him go
Porsha,
to.
she's not.
No,
Yeah,
but to
Porsha is
your point.
none. Yeah.
Sorry, go
Go
on,
ahead.
Ivy. I
Yes,
keep
no,
talking
no,
over
you
you.
can
Go on,
finish.
Ivy. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine. Go ahead, Tisha.
No, I'm
I'm
saying to
going.
your point of her being too serious. She's even though she's dropped it gorgeous and this and that, she is an earth sign. And even if she wasn't an earth sign, she's a family girl to the point that she made him go and get custody, formalized custody arrangements for his children, so he would play an active role. And when they went on vacation, she wanted all the children to come, not just hers. It says that one could say that Porsha is kind of running from herself on national television, right? And being with Simon is not helping the matter at all, right? And it's coming to the point of she's about to cancel herself. And my concern for her, if you guys want to call it concern, is the fact of the number one reason that Simon left Fallon for you is you guys are both beautiful, different shapes, different bodies, but depending on your thing, beautiful. Yeah, but the thing that Porsha went out on is Porsha had fame. And if Porsha cancels herself, and how you're saying Simon's living out his dream, that means that he can't live his dream out anymore. So, what next?
But there's girls waiting to take Porsha's place. Porsha ain't the only Porsha. All the girls that's like, yeah, go Porsha. They waited to take her place. This situation is definitely gonna have Simon coming out. I totally see it now. You guys just painted it for me. It's like Simon is already on his way to getting his new Porsha. He's on TV. There's a bunch of these girls watching, thinking like, yeah, this guy got money. He's this, and they're ready to take her place, just like Porsha was watching Fallon. There's a bunch
Yeah.
of girls who's waiting to take Porsha's place right now.
That's
even
true.
even with this man being not even what he seems to be, it don't matter because there are plenty Porshas. Porsha is not the only one. There are plenty girls like this, pretty young and everything.
And just to support what she said, like she said, do you know how many girls are probably in his DM right now? Because he's on TV. I'm telling you, like one time when I was watching, let me just digress a little bit. When I was watching Married to Medicine, and I saw Dr. Simon telling Cecil about women being in his DM just because they're on TV, because these desperate girls who just come to you because they want fame. At this point, everybody wants to be famous. If I get with Simon, something, he'll post me on Instagram, people get to know me and stuff like that. So there are so many Porschas out here. There's so many of them. But like she just said, Simon just wanted to be in the spotlight. He's already there right now. At this point, anything Simon gets to do in life, people who only knew him on TV and on Instagram with whatever happened with Porsha, everybody's going to look at him like, oh, the guy that got engaged to Porsha. Porsha's always going to be attached to that.
Porsha, listen, he's already gotten his value for what? And if you bring up a good point, you got us all thinking for what he wanted. Porsha was a gold mine for him. He's gotten solidified, and like you were saying, sorry, why did I forget your name? Betty. Like you were saying, Betty. Sorry about that, girl. Like you were saying, there's a million girls that's just looking and watching. And again, they don't need houses. They're 20 something. They just want to be head to toe in Fendi, go out, pop some bottles, have fun, and get him to take them shopping so they can go out with the guy they really like. Do you know what I'm saying?
But the crazy part is, it was a million Porschas in his DM. Porsha was just the one that can get him to where he wanted to be the fastest.
True. Well, listen, Simon's still been dating while he's with Porsha. The Red Martini will tell you he's been out a few times. Porsha needs to watch that. Man, I want to say, first of all, Dr. J1913, happy Tattle Tells anniversary. You've been rocking with me for so long. Thank you so much. And also, Cece Boating. Welcome to the Tattle Tells family. Y'all, let me ask you a question. How long, and I want to hear from everybody on this panel, how long y'all think this really, and this is women's intuition, right? Because let me tell y'all something. I've never dated a Simon, right? But I've dated some trash in my life, right? Where I'm just like,
dated a dentist.
Yes, thank you. I've never dated a assignment, but there might be a Dennis Mckinley in my past or two. You know what I'm saying, right? I was not his Porsha to the Dennis, but it was like a Dennis McKinley, where maybe around the fourth, fifth date, you realize you're talking to a Dennis McKinley, right? So,
Right.
the Simon Gabodias, I'd be like, "Ew, don't touch me, get away, go." They're the ones when you walk into the bathroom in the club, they trying to, oh, stop, yeah, ew. So like, so a woman's intuition based off of your dating experiences, and definitely Iffy and Mercy. You guys expand on this too, but everybody jump in. How long do you actually see this happen? I'll go first. I don't see the wedding happening unless Simon gives her the wedding of her dreams. And I think she'll do it for fun, because I don't think Porsha, and it's not just Porsha, I don't think most people care about marriage and divorce like that, right? You just want to show. So you'll do it if it can be the wedding of your dreams. And even then, I don't think it will last uh in a wedding. It'll be over within a year. She'll be on People magazine crying. I think it's there. Simon's having fun. Porsha understands it. I think she's taking it a bit too seriously, but I think also she has something to prove to the world now, because everybody told her she went down the wrong road. So again, let's start with Betty, then go to Iffy, Good Sis, then Mercy, then Prosperity, then JoJo. How long do you see this lasting, and why? What do you see ripping it apart, or just expand on it? Because I'm actually interested.
I think it highly depends on the next season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think that is going to be the catalyst for a lot of what's going on in Portia's life right now. She's going to watch the show, and she's going to try to think of a way to get her back in and with this whole Simon situation, because this is the reason why we're talking about her. So if she's as smart enough, I think she's going to still keep trying to find a way for this situation to get her in her bag. So once next season is over, I think I'm going to be more clear about how long it's going to last. But I do think it will last at least until the next season of Real Housewives Atlanta has been done taping and it's on TV and the reunion aired and all that. I think they would definitely be together for that until that ends.
You know what? I definitely think so. I definitely I definitely think that too. Now, somebody made a good point. AKA Soror said, I've been married for 34 years and this relationship is filled with lies. They'll be together for 2 years. They have to prove something for all of us. Maybe, but that's if Simon stays in it. If Simon sees something better, Simon's the type of person. Porsha could try to hold on to him with tooth and nail and do everything. When he's ready to bounce, he's just going to bounce, and he's not going to care, because he's going to build a new house of lies with the next person. But I definitely agree with you, Betty, on that. Iffy, what's yours?
Well, like I said, like I think Portia is gonna. Let me see. I think because of the so-called haters, she will go through with it. She's seen red flags. That was the reason why she didn't have a date. And before she went on her book signing, I think I feel in my spirit that there was a little bit of shift in their relationship, because now you have Simon trying so hard to promote her, um but because she just wants they want to prove the haters wrong. They probably will go through with the wedding. I think they will go through with the wedding, and if they do go through with the wedding, I give it a year or two. But if they don't go through with the wedding, yeah, within the next year, they will be out.
I agree with that. I think as soon as the fame runs out, I think if Portia's family reunion isn't renewed, and Bravo looks like it's sick of her, right? Right now,
Mm-hmm.
there's no plan. And we know, listen, Nene was out of Real Housewives, literally kicked out, and then she got back in before that last thing when she accused them of. So we know that things are a little fluid in Bravo. But for right now, Bravo is fed up. She is not getting that second season. I could see him hanging around till long enough for the Real Housewives of Atlanta to see if she can
Mm-hmm.
get back on that. But that's the thing, right? Because what's
Right.
the draw? What's the storyline? They'll have to hold that marriage, right, until the new
Mm-hmm.
season of Real Housewives of Atlanta starts filming, because that's going to be in a
Quick question, Tisa. Do you think that producer coming out, do you think he helped her, or he harmed her? by bringing out that post that he made, because I think if I'm a Bravo executive, I probably will be looking at Porsche some kind of way. So you lied to us, and
Well, here's the
I don't
thing.
know.
I think it definitely hurt her. I've had different people in my ear saying, "Oh no, that was a post low key dragging Portia." I read it and I was like, "It's a Portia appreciation post." But that guy
Mm-hmm.
is a slime ball. He is a cop chaser. But he even tagged Candy, and Portia didn't dispute it. So he's obviously telling the truth. He's also a dirtbag. Like Lily sent me something. He's also a dirtbag, like straight up a dirtbag. But Portia seems to like dirt bags. My whole point is Bravo's issue with Portia is not even the fact that you lied to us and you played us, but Bravo is being plagued right now by people being like, "This is fake. There's no reality. Everything's scripted." Blah 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 blah. And for one of their biggest stars to come out and let us know that one of the biggest scandals that ever hit Bravo was all he wrote it out and they produced it and it's all fake. Bravo, even if it's not real, they want us to think that it is at least 70% reality. So that's another reason why Bravo is plain sick of her. Nia Rich, thank you so much for the super chat. You said Fallon already told us he was talking about her, making fun of her before. How do you genuinely love a woman you should talk crap about? Honestly, I think I agree with you, but I also think that maybe he was doing that so Fallon wouldn't get the sense that he was actually still messing with Portia. Because even when he was calling her dog face, he was still meeting her at the hotels, right? Dr. J 1913, you say, where did Simon get those clothes from that he bought for Portia? Can this nice Nigerian queen tell us? Iffy, that good point. Iffy and Mercy. Remember the clothes that Portia never wore, but he got from a tailor and bought them back from Nigeria? Where did they get those clothes from? Because to me, they
From the
didn't.
airport.
What's that? From the
From the
airport?
airport. Mm-hmm. Or roadside. It's true. Seriously,
Those clothes,
I
those
promise
clothes
you.
are very,
Yep, airport or by the roadside. They hawk them along the roadside.
yeah, those clothes are
Hmm.
very popular in Africa.
Yeah,
Every time.
because they're not the clothes that they're supposed to be form fitting and very nice quality. Those are roadside.
Girl. Girl. You know what? And I'm not even gonna lie, it does look, because listen, I have a few Nigerian girlfriends, right? And I know when y'all step out the house, y'all step out the house. The fabric, the quality, even the way the folds, like everything is just like, oh my God, you look like money. And to see that when I'm like, I think I have something like that, like the two pieces you get from Alibaba or the two pieces you get from Instagram, right? Yeah, it didn't look like anything that a wealthy man's wife would buy, or he would buy her, especially when he's trying to introduce her into society. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, this isn't like people and you're just casual and, oh, hi, I'm trying to introduce you. I want you to look your best. And he didn't even know what to look for. So we'll see. Let's see. Who's next? Let's see. We did Betty. Good. Mercy. Mercy, what's your wait, good sis, are you here? Can we hear you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good sis. What about you? What do you think of everything?
About the marriage, if someone is gonna give Portia the marriage or anything, I feel like, given the fact that Portia already went ahead, remember a few months ago, she spoke about having 3 weddings, one in whatever and stuff like that. I feel like Simon is going to want to play with that, trying to play the media. Like if he said he's just want to be on the safe side, he's going to want to give Portia the wedding of her dreams. Like we said, he's not going to deviate from trying to get what he wants. And one of it is he knows that Portia is so desperate to get married. I mean, we all know that. Portia is all about having a ring on her finger, you know, being somebody's wife. Portia is so big on that. So, whatever she's trying to get, Simon is going to have to give her that. And Simon is going to have to play in the public eye to be the good one. So it doesn't come off like, oh, he doesn't have money, that's why she's going to have like, a little wedding or drive through wedding, whatever. But he's gonna want to give her that so that people will be like, oh wow, okay, he got the money. He doesn't need her. He was already, established and stuff like that. So they're just gonna try to play that. I mean, Simon in particular is gonna try to play it. But of course, Porsha being Porsha is gonna think, "Oh my God, he loves me. He's a man. He's ready to marry me. He's, how Porsha thinks. That's how she's gonna think about it." But to Simon, it's a business thing. He's trying to play his business and getting his name out there. And I'll bet you, whoever Porsha knows now, like a producer, somebody up there in Hollywood, anything related to media, whatever, I'll bet you Simon goes with her to get with these people. I'm telling you, and then when she breaks up with Porsha, he already have his roots, he already have his connections. If there's somebody he needs to call, he will call that person. And then looking at Simon's track record with Fallon, Simon is not the type to hold back after a breakup. Like, he will go into the trenches with you. Like looking at how he was posting about Fallon and trying to tell her business. I'm just saying that Porsha should be ready. To me, I see this. They might get married because of the buzz in the media, because they're trying to play safe. But I don't see this lasting. I'm telling you, I don't see it. And like I told you, some of these men, when they go around their homeboys, they'll be laughing at Porsha. Like, yeah, we got her, da 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 da. And then Porsha is there crackling and laughing to her. She's like, oh, how African people, we say our wife, like that's a cultural thing. Like, everybody considers your wife. Everybody say, our wife is here, our wife is here. And to Porsha, it's like, oh, they accepted me. I love his mom. I love. But Porsha,
R. Kelly.
Someone knows what he's doing. So yeah, they might have the wedding. I think the only reason why there'll be pressure to have the wedding now is because of the Tamron Hall thing. That everybody was like, well, if you accepted his ring that early, you guys should have gotten married. So at this point, they're just going to get married because, well, everybody is now talking. So, but I don't think there's some substance, any quality or substance to that marriage. And, I don't think it will last.
Listen, I agree with you. I want to give a shout out to, speaking of Keys Digital Consulting, thank you for joining the Tattle Tells. And with Sean for the super chat also said, Simon's clothes are from Build-A-Bear. I'm sorry. Simon's clothes are from Build-A-Bear Workshop. If you guys have never been to Build-A-Bear Workshop, has anybody been to Build-A-Bear Workshop? You go and pick your teddy bear, and then you pick the outfits your teddy bear is going to have. It's a whole mall of clothes for teddy bears, but all the clothes all fit super tight for the teddy bears. So he gets his clothes from Build-A-Bear Workshop. Okay. Princess Di said, Merry Christmas, Tisa and the Tattle Tells family. Merry Christmas, Mama. Great panel tonight. Effie and the other Nigerian lady who is Mercy. Effie and Mercy, great insight into your culture and how Simon is full of crap. Of course. And another thing is, right? Another thing that Simon doesn't have any money because Simon's been trying to act like he's into politics, right? And he went to the Swan Ball or whatever where you can buy a table. He didn't buy a table. He just was invited by somebody that had a table, but he bought tickets from them, right? But they're saying, why didn't he go to the Mayor's Ball last night? Because the Mayor's Ball, last Saturday, is where all the movers and shakers in Atlanta go when you're trying to get into certain rooms and also when you are in certain rooms. But for what he was fronting, they should have been there, right? And also, they have all this money and acting like they're spending on all this money. Anybody knows when you're trying to build in the social circle in Atlanta, you got to spread money around. You got to spread love. You got to show support. They could even have events where they invite people. But again, we saw what happened with our party. There was only 12 people there, and 8 of them were from the Bravo Married to Medicine cast. So that goes with that. Mercy, I completely agree with what you are saying. Good sis, I think you are next after Mercy. Are you ready?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Hey, Mama.
I just been sitting here like Simon, be sitting at the table. Just looking around.
Exactly, right?
No, but I seriously think that I'll give it like say after episode 8, I'll give it like the max 6 months, because Porsha, I believe that she. Well, I have a lot of thoughts on this. First, Porsha was messing around with Simon, like you said, say back in September, but she was also messing around with Dennis. And I believe the only reason why things hit the fan in January is because Dennis didn't bring that ring on Christmas. So Porsha went to Simon like, hey, what are we doing? Like, she made her decision at that time. So now that she knows Simon doesn't have any money, if they can't get a bag together, Portia's gonna move on. In my mind, Portia's looking for the next Mark, because she's mad. She's like too mad at Dennis now to even really want to be back with him. Because I believe she wanted to be back with Dennis because, like, if you listen to them online, the things they say is very telling. Like Simon says, oh, well, that's more money for Pilar. Like, what do you care about Pilar's money? Like,
Seriously.
are you gonna try to swindle her trust fund? Like, what do you care if it's more money for Pilar? So
Yes.
I'm just feeling like if they can't get a bag together, I'll give it 6 months to a year. Like, she's gonna have to go back on Real Housewives of Atlanta next season and make a complete fool of herself, because it's all gonna hit the fan. And if she's not willing to do that, and it's a wrap. I don't see them getting married unless
I
Bravo
agree.
pays for the special.
I agree. I think you're right about that. And I thought that was weird too for him to be like, that's more money for Pilar. It's like, but her stepdaddy who's co-parenting is 100 millionaire. So what you mean that's more money? It's just a weird comment. Simon talks to me the way broke guys talk. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Where it's just like, why are you clocking the money that the little girl's getting? It's just weird. It's just that's more
Yeah,
money
it was
for
really
Pilar.
weird.
It's really weird. I think he's just not conscious of the thing he says. And to Mercy and Iffy's point, which we saw, his temperament, you can see he is not going to be controlled and he's not going to let anybody tell him what to do. And we saw on the thing that Porsha doesn't have the balls to actually say something to him. I do agree that is something about Fallon's personality. I can just tell even from talking to her, she's maybe not the one that's just like, but she's silently stubborn. And in my mind, the person going, can be reasoned with and can be persuaded. The silently stubborn ones are the ones where it's just like, even when they agree, they're going to do what they want to do. And they're going to move things around so that they have things the way they want. To me, that's the more, for a guy like Simon, again, it's a challenge, but it's the more frustrating. Because again, Fallon is a silently stubborn person. So yeah, right? And it's like, listen, and don't forget, it's more money for Pilar because Pilar is going to be with Dennis. So that's why it's more money for Pilar, right? He's probably
Like,
waiting.
he is super weird. Like, I could just see myself is like people say about African men, right? I don't see an African man sitting there while his fiance goes crazy over
I
her
don't
baby
see.
daddy. Like, Simon does not care. I feel like their relationship has fizzled out. They both know who each other they both see each other and they don't like it. They just want to bag together. They don't like it because when Portia was like, he didn't even open his mouth. She's like, my legs hurt. So she was
My
like,
thighs hurt
no.
because she
And
was busy in
Simon
the
looked at her.
closet like this. Like, oh, I hope he doesn't see me playing
And
Spider-Man in the
Simon,
closet.
but if you go back and look at it, Simon looked at her like, hooker, please. I wasn't even trying to
He
give
did
Dennis
look
back
at her
his
like that,
robe.
like, nah. I was gonna ask you to return the robe. Like looking at her too, like, did nobody want it anyway? Yo, I will say something. You are so right about that. They both see each other at this point. And here's the thing: we keep talking about African men. Listen, I don't think any man or woman, no matter where you're from, would sit across the table while you're could you imagine sitting across the table with your boyfriend while he's arguing with his ex about giving her back her robe? Could you imagine that? Now, here's the thing. you don't got to curse them out right there. But in my mind, I would literally be slowly detaching myself from the situation in my mind, literally making my exit plan, just literally detaching from the whole. If you saw me sitting there nodding while they're arguing, I'd be like, okay, so it's over. But do I want to pack up my stuff tonight? I don't know. I don't feel like it. You know what? I'll wait till Wednesday because Tuesday we're supposed to go to that movie. Yeah. Literally, I would be making my exit plan and be like, yeah, this is done. So the fact I don't think a man or a woman would sit there while somebody is arguing with their ex in your face over a robe, and we all know it's not about a robe. And the whole time Simon is just like, yeah, that's what people do when they are using you and they have ulterior motives, and they're just like, I'm not gonna let this little bump stop my plan. So just shut up and smile and nod your head because we got a bigger plan. That's what he's doing.
He does. It looks like he doesn't care at all. Even when they were like eating breakfast, like the only time his eyes lit up and he got joyful is when he talked about kicking a woman to the curb. Like, he didn't care that Dennis was throwing Porsha in his face. Like, yeah, just tell her I'm bringing some work. And he didn't care. He does not care at all.
I haven't even set out while he is housing the free breakfast. Sir, there's free breakfast every day. Calm down. You can go back for more turkey, bacon, and eggs. You don't got to eat it all this time. And I say this as someone that I'm always scarfing down the free breakfast at every hotel if I can get up in time for breakfast, you know? So, like, Simon was just like, that scene was such a mess on so many levels. But again, both Porsha and Simon know what they signed up for, and both of them don't care. Woo, comment thread. We got over 16.k likes. Listen, all right, let's go to prosperity. Prosperity, what is your take on this?
You got me muted.
No, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. It's my screen saying I'm muted. First of all, she should have named the book The Pursuit of a Paycheck or Any Check, because that's what it's all about. I think y'all give them too much credit as this being real in any kind of way, because I feel like as soon as this last episode airs, it depends on how stupid she has made him look and how many of his friends rag on him and tell him, dude, are you serious? Is this the woman you really want to be with? She's still in love with old dude. Like, and it depends on how much he gets talked about for being stupid with being with her. It's going to tell how long they'll be together. And if she keeps going this way with this show, embarrassing him, it's not going to be a year. I don't give it a year. I don't know. I don't see it.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing for him to gain from it after that.
There is nothing.
And like I said, he is a man, and no man really wants to be embarrassed on TV the way he has been embarrassed on television. Because you can find another dum-dum to do the same thing that she is.
Can he? Honestly, let's be real. And let's be real, because listen, let's be real. Porsha was one of the stars on one of the biggest reality shows in America, right? She has a following of 6.4 million. She's beautiful. She is funny. She is charismatic. Now, that doesn't make her a nice person. It doesn't mean that you want to invite her over to your house to swim in your pool and smoke hookah, you know? But on the surface, Porsha has a lot to offer, right? What is the odds that Simon could find somebody that looked like Porsha with Porsha's level of fame that's down for his bullshit? I mean,
nobody's gonna be down for that bullcrap.
Finding someone that hadn't really seen much, stayed in the house, didn't know what real money looked like, and fell for his game. Because I don't think there's many women with Porsha's fame. And that's the thing. Porsha already had something before Simon. It's not like you're a girl at 20 years old in the club and he's the first guy that ever bought you your first Fendi head-to-toe outfit. Porsha, in my mind, you already had something. You bought something. As a matter of fact, Porsha was the table in the relationship, right?
Exactly. That's why I don't understand why she with him, period.
Yeah, I just don't think that he'll find someone on her level. And I think he lucked out that Porsha was the perfect storm of not that. And Simon doesn't have any friends either, partly because I don't know, but he doesn't have that many friends. So I think he's lucky that he lucked out that somebody with Porsha's level of fame, because that's what he wanted from her, would even take him seriously. I really do. I really do.
But I just can't see them making it too much further because the gig is up. Everybody knows this is real. Everybody, like, we all know this. And then the dentist thing. Why the man still ain't got his robe back? Are you wearing it, Simon? Did you figure out how soft it was and it fits you, so you not gonna give it back?
You know
Now
what?
she's a single mother. This stuff makes no sense. They're going around the mulberry bush and none of it's adding up. 2 plus 2 equals 6 to them. I'm not understanding this at all. But I'm gonna
Understand
keep
how
watching.
I don't understand how if Simon first of all, you arguing over a robe and watching your girl arguing over a robe. Simon, as much money as you say you have, why didn't you buy her 6 robes and tell her to throw that shit in the trash? Why didn't you buy her 12 robes, send Dennis 5 robes, and then burn that shit on Instagram Live? Burn his real robe on Instagram Live. If you had the money,
Exactly.
you said you do it. Even if you felt like being petty, you could have been so petty and everybody could have gotten 20 robes each. You know, like if I had that type of money, I'd be petty. And then burn that robe on Instagram Live, send Dennis 5 new ones, get Porsha 20, and then break up with everybody in the situation. Literally. But
Right.
again, to me, it's like the way broke people argue over stuff because everybody really wants that robe because it's $600, you know? So,
Like they say, old money does not talk. It let people do the talking for it. They let people think what they want. New money talks because they want everybody to think they have money. It's they doing too much.
Simon don't. I know what new money looks like. I know what old money looks like. Simon don't got new money. That's why I was just like, boy, you don't even got new money.
He ain't got neither.
New money talks loud. It yells into the room, hello. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? Right? New money yells into the room. It tries to buy the room. It's the one saying drinks on me. But again,
Right.
Porsha is the only dum-dum that had a platform of Real Housewives of Atlanta. She didn't really do anything on it. And that's why it was easy for Simon to promise her a kept woman's lifestyle. And she was so easy to drop it all. Simon at first thought like, ooh, this woman's easy to control. But I think now he just sees like, oh, she just don't really have any ambition and she wants to be a housewife. But to all your points, Simon wants a submissive housewife, but he doesn't. You know, he does because he wants to control, but he doesn't. And I don't think that Porsha, maybe she realizes it or maybe she's not. Your value to Simon is your fame, your immediate fame of being on TV. But even then, all good things come to an end. I really do honestly think that Simon would probably again, even if she offered the fame and stayed on Rhoa, as soon as he could level up and get a woman more to his liking,
Yes.
Porsha's fame, he would do it. He would do it. It's like even when Porsha's like, I guess you didn't play yourself because he would have done it anyway. You know, he would
And
have.
Porsha would do the same to him. They just 2 peas in a pod.
Exactly.
True. They all play in that game because you can't tell me when she Simon took her to Nigeria and the most glamorous thing she did was walk through his friend's mansion. To me, I'd have been like, I'm with a bum. How am I like, you're supposed to be the one with money and you take me all the way to Nigeria and you got me walking through your friend's mansion? Where's your shit? Where's your house? Where you stayed at the Holiday Inn in Benin? Where is your house? Where is anything? Again, don't get me wrong. Listen, I'll stay on a cot if I have to, right? Don't make it seem like I'm just like, I gotta be in the best of the best. But if you telling me and I literally, my reputation took a hit for you and people are clowning me and opportunities are drying up because I think that you got me, where the hell is all this life you promised me? Because I literally did give up something. I could have gone, the trip you took me on, I could have gone on myself and done better because I would have been
She
single.
has gone on herself. She's been on those
Exactly.
trips.
Where is your stuff? Again, if you're like, listen, babe, I work at McDonald's, you got to pay half a rent. But listen, if I love you, I'll be like, all right, whatever. Like, fine. At least, are you going to school? Can you do something? Like, literally, I'd be like, do something to better yourself. But if I love you and we're in the mud, we are in the mud together. But again, don't come to me telling me it's A, B, and C, and we in the clouds, and you got me living in the mud. Like, what
And
is
think I'm
going
gonna be in the
on?
mood. Mm-mm.
Exactly.
But also,
Like,
can I say one
yeah, go on.
about the co-parenting thing? How
Yeah.
you gonna want to co-parent with a child that has a mother and a father already, but you don't have a plan to co-parent with the kids that you got? Simon, sit still, eat your food. You're making no sense. Portia, how Dennis is not paying child support? Duh, you never took him for child. I had a reason to take him for child support. Stop just saying things for sympathy, for your fans to get riled up and go at dentist. Dennis wasn't on this show. Girl, you would not have a show. Auntie Liz even said in that post, she commented, "Oh, I thought he gave you this. I thought he gave you this." As to say, now you trying to say this dude ain't got all the things that you say he gave you. It's not making sense.
It's
Even Aunt
not.
Liz, come on, Aunt Liz done got off her and came on Instagram and said something. Come on now. Stop, Portia. You're making yourself look dumb.
Exactly. And Portia said the ring was fake and was going to think, but yet you was asking for the ring back and talking about, oh, I
Thank you.
gave the ring back once the engagement ended. No, you didn't. Dennis, you literally told us in the episode before that in Housewives that Dennis took the ring back, right? Now you call and talking about beg, and you said you asked for the ring back and like, man, I can't.
You think we think you gave that ring back, but you won't give a robe back? The ring was worth more than the robe. So if you didn't give a robe back, you know you didn't give that ring back. You still got a closet full of that man clothes. Throw back.
Exactly. Listen, and Dennis was probably planning on coming back too, but not in the way Portia thought. And again, I do think Portia was keeping him around because not controlling him, because she didn't want Pilar to have any siblings. In the meantime, whether she's figuring out she wants to have another baby with Dennis or not. You know what I'm saying? I just think that's
Right.
what it was.
It's not about
I don't
co-parenting.
think
It's
that
about
she
co-parenting.
wants. I don't think that she wants Pilar to end up like her and Lauren.
Exactly. That's a good point. That's a good
It's
point.
not. It's not about co-parenting. It's about keeping Dennis on the side. She don't care about co-parenting, because if you did, you wouldn't have threw this monkey wrench in it, and now everything is mucked up. Now Dennis is about taking you to court. If you really wanted to co-parent in peace, you wouldn't be doing all these things. But since you want to be made to look like the good girl, now you want to bring all this stuff that he's not doing. You a single mother now. You this, you that. Don't mess with me because it's wrong. No, you just want everybody to be on your side. Point blank, period. Tell the truth.
But you know what, though? I gotta agree with Good Sis, and then after that, we'll go to JoJo. Listen, Good Sis, I kind of do agree with you. She doesn't want Pilar to end up like her and Lauren. Her and Lauren, of course, they love each other. They're sisters. Lauren has her back, all this stuff, right? However, once her dad started a new family, she felt like she was the one coming to visit on the weekends, you know? And she really missed like having her dad in the house all the time. And that would make sense, because so one of the reasons she's taken, in my opinion, I agree with you, she might be keeping Dennis so close is she doesn't want that same dynamic between her and Lauren. She wants them to have the same mom and the same dad.
Because she will also end up like her mother. Like, no one
Mm-hmm.
wants to be the woman that was discarded.
Yeah.
Like, even if, like, even with divorced couples, you'll see a lot of the first wife still getting angry, not because she loves the man, it's because that relationship is the one that people praise now, his new wife,
Yeah.
because he's married. And her mom, I don't think her mom ever moved on and got remarried. She would be her mom, and PJ would be her. And especially if Dennis married the next woman and they had a baby, and Dennis, he's a good dad, she knows, but that kid would get more benefit with Dennis being in the house. I think Portia would just rage. She would rage.
But she's derailing that. She's derailing that by her post and doing the dumb stuff that she's doing. She's doing this now.
Should we all know that when Portia gets mad, she gets violent? Sometimes she doesn't think. Portia is her own worst enemy when she feels like her world is coming apart, and when she feels like she's losing control, and she lashes out, right? And then she tries to play victim, and then she waits for everybody else to fall for the victim act and fix it. I think it's the fact that she finally figured, right, that she can't control Dennis, so she lost her mind, and she said, "Forget about it." Portia, again, she doesn't think 2 or 3 steps ahead. And again, lots of people don't think 2 or 3 steps ahead. But combined with her temper, combined with this, combined with that, it's very negative. So again, I think that was her plan with Dennis at first, but I think when she felt like she could control him, she was like, fine, let's burn it all down. She'll probably regret it later, just like she regrets everything, maybe. I don't know.
Regret it.
Well,
But
we'll
I
see.
think Porsha not wanting Pilar to be like her is something that if she wanted that, she would get that, because at this point, if Pilar becomes her, it's because she's chasing the dollar sign, because she's the one doing it. Well, I understand Dennis cheated, but being that she hopped on this man that she allegedly met for 2 weeks or how long, and you are now with this man, and if she actually want kids, or let's say not with Dennis, or she want Pilar to have her own siblings or something, why is she getting on with a man that, well, Fallon said the guy doesn't really perform that well, and he already had a vasectomy? Like, this is all I'm saying, that Porsha is just following money and not looking at the future.
True.
I mean, even when she met Dennis, if that was so important to her, she should have gotten to know that man and, secured a real foundation in that relationship before she had his baby. I mean, she's her own worst enemy. You said it, Tisa. She is her own worst enemy. Like, you have a goal, but you're not thinking about what it actually takes to get there. Like, you want all these shortcuts. You want to do these, like, you want it to happen like magic. You don't want to actually put the work in that's going to get you the results that you
instead
want.
of her trying to secure Dennis, she's trying to secure a robe. That's pretty much it, because instead of you looking at the future, or this is a man you want to have all your kids with, okay, let's put in the work or whatever's going on, and not bring this other man into the picture. You have this other new man in the picture, and then you are fighting for his robe. You would have been fighting to keep the man and not the robe. So Porsha is just, I don't know.
And that's why she's mad, because it's not working. She got with Simon to make Dennis jealous. She sees that Dennis is not playing the game that she wanted him to play, and he's moving on, and he still got his work, and he still got other females. Now where does she go? She didn't think past that, because she thought Dennis was going to come running. Oh, I don't want you to be with him. I want you to be with me. And now she didn't think past that, so she's stuck here.
That's an epic fail. Jojo, what you got to say about this, Mama? Jojo, we can't hear you. Jojo Dancer. No.
I used to hate that nickname when I was younger.
Oh, sorry, Jojo. Sorry.
No, that was me. That was Prosperity. My name's Joanne. That's why I said that.
I honestly think Portia's keeping a robe because Dennis kept the ring. It's just petty.
You think that's what it is?
I think that's what it is. Because on IG, she's like, I bought this. And I'm like,
but you never said that at first.
No. Hold on really quick. She didn't say she bought that robe.
Portia, she did.
No, she said it was bought. She said it was bought. No, she said, oh, Dennis's robe. And she's like, bought. But the way she said it, I'm like, you didn't say you bought that robe.
In her confessional, she said, it's Dennis's robe, but she confiscated it.
No, I read that post on IG. Really quick, I want to say, Nia Rich, thank you so much. Hey, Mama, gorgeous. You said, how would she like it if Simon had Fallon's robe on the back of his cheap ass office chair? Listen, right?
He probably does.
He'll probably put it on.
Wearing it.
Exactly. He probably would, right? Sharon and Drake over his car seat. Sharon said Porsha and Dennis was in each other's bed, so it was no need for him to take the court for child support. Of course. No, I do want to say
don't call about it now.
In the post about the robe, somebody was like, Dennis, something about the robe, and she was like, yep, bought the robe, and then she said something about her ring. But when you look at what she actually wrote, she was just saying that he bought the robe to the house, like bought the robe and bought the ring. She didn't buy that robe. That literally was the robe.
That's why I was like, why you didn't say that at the beginning? If you bought the robe, you would have said that first.
Of course she would have.
I would not want my ex's funky robe. I just would not.
That shit would be in the trash.
She don't only have a robe. She still have a lot of this stuff. We saw the boxes.
Let me tell you something. If we broke up on bad terms, you have a certain amount of time to retrieve your shit out of the
It's gonna
trash.
be
Like,
burnt
if
or
it's
bleached.
all bagged up and you have a certain amount of time to retrieve it, we can do it as a third party. After that, that shit is either going in the trash
Burnt
or what? Like,
or
what do you
bleached.
I totally agree. Somebody at the homeless shelter would have been wearing that
seriously?
man's
Right.
robe a long time ago.
Exactly.
Okay?
You have a limited amount of
Right.
time. I think it's like what, a month after a breakup, depending on if you did me dirty. Try to establish communication. I'm not going to be that petty and throw. It depends how dirty. No, I'll bag it up because I just want that out of there, right?
Right.
If not, what are you going to do? But the fact that they are sitting there on the robe, and she was really not planning on giving that robe
No, she wasn't.
back.
And damn
But
sure wouldn't be on the back of my chair. I could tell you that much. It wouldn't be out open. It would be balled up somewhere. That it really would not be out like I'm wearing
it
it.
really wouldn't. But listen, you guys. Thank you. It is now 12:07 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for rocking with us. You guys were great on the panel. Literally, I would love, listen, I love Betty, good sis, Iffy, girl. I saw you powder. Iffy was like, I gotta go. These kids need to go to sleep. Mercy, thank you so much. Prosperity, it's been a pleasure. And JoJo, you guys are always welcome back at any time. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. And thank you, members only chat. Usually my chats are open to everybody, but you know, whenever I do anything about Porsha and Simon, those trolls be heavy. But I know that my Tattle Tells, you know, y'all can keep things in check. So I said, let me just do members only because we ain't doing this today, tomorrow, or this
I
live.
said that in the audience.
This live was a vibe, especially Mercy and Iffy. Thank you so much I would love to have you guys back on, all of you guys, but telling us about the culture and what's going on, because it was so illuminating. Because again, people are people, but it's nice when you have somebody from the culture being like, I see what you're doing.
Yeah,
What you
right.
talking about? You can have 25 wives. Like, y'all might just have to screen like, are you serious? You know, it's like, it was just a beautiful, beautiful vibe. So you guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Tisa,
Yeah, babe.
can you say what's my name one more time? What you call me?
Prosperity Thick Girl 40.
No, your name.
Tisa,
Thick Eye.
thick thighs. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep saying Prosperity Thick Girl 40, but we know we got those thick thighs. They stay live. They stay
I
live.
love when you say it. That's why I said, can you say it?
Listen, good sis, Mercy, Prosperity, Thick Girl 40, JoJo, and also Betty. Listen, if I'm not following you guys, my panel, make sure you inbox me on DM me on Instagram so I can follow you guys, okay? And I
Oh,
know
you know I'm
Prosperity
already there.
already Insta buddies, right? But
Yes,
thank
we
you.
are.
Yes. And anybody else, inbox me on Insta so we can follow each other. If you're not following me, or just inbox me, I'll follow you. You don't need to follow me, you guys, for the panel, right? But thank you guys so much for joining, and I will see all you guys. Listen, this Sunday, I don't know if there's a new episode of Pursuit of Porsha. If it's not, we will do a book club, and also I got something special planned for you guys. So if we do it, it's going to be Sunday instead of the Porsha show. We'll probably do it a little bit earlier. But if Porsha has a show on Sunday, then we'll do it Monday. But it's going to be good. All right, you guys. It's good talking to you guys. All right. I'll
Hi,
talk to you
Tisha.
guys.
It was a pleasure. I do
Oh,
not have
thank
any
you
other
guys.
social
Thank
media.
you.
I just come on YouTube for you girls. So
Oh,
I'll
thank
just
you,
see you
Betty.
next time.
All right, Betty.
But
And
we'll
don't
have
forget,
something to talk about from IG anyway. You know it's gonna be some more.
you know it's going to be some more. Simon is, listen, the billionaire is literally responding to trolls in his comments, letting us know he is very rich. Thank you very much. He's not just rich, he is rich, and living his happiest life. Because that's what people do when they're
Yeah.
living his happiest life. They go on Instagram and they respond to trolls. So, you know, if y'all want to see some motivation, a la Kelly Rowland, head on over to Simon. Oh, look, Rochelle Grant, last but not least, we got a super chat. Rochelle said, oh, thank you, Rochelle, for the super chat. Thank you so much. All right, everybody, I'll talk to you guys later. And Rochelle, thank you for being the last but not least member of the Tattle Tells and for the super chat. Appreciate it, mama. All right. Oh, yeah, listen. All right, Marva, could you send me a screenshot? Because we'll talk about that. Send me a screenshot, Marva, okay? And thank you so much. Don't worry, you guys. The book club still has 3 more chapters. We go and get it in, all right? Talk to everybody later. Bye.
All right, baby. Be safe.
Bye, Tisha.